Untamed is going to be untamed. It's going to be a little crazy. I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
Oh, hot dog, look at you.
And nobody talked about what's really happening.
And let's have conversations about what truth is. Are we on? Are we live? We are. Hey, welcome back on this beautiful Wednesday after we just saw the Republicans get crushed in, in every election across the entire United States. This is a reminder that stolen elections have consequences. Now, I also want to tell you that besides, the obvious areas where Democrats don't even have a pride flag, we have not won an election since President Trump was elected, not a special election. We had a very, very, very red area. It's been red for the last 50 years. Matter of fact, the last time that they had a Democrat that was in that office outside of, in Pennsylvania, was when they did redistricting in 1979. So since 1979, there's been a Republican up until a special election that happened literally a month after President Trump was sworn into office. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. And I was on the phone with Kyle Seraphin, ex-FBI whistleblower, frankly, one of the coolest cats I've known and a good friend. And we talked about it. And he goes, that's okay. I'll just get to work out a couple days a week and get ready for the fight, because there will be one. And we hope that that fight will not turn kinetic. We hope that it won't get to a place that it gets hot. But it could. It could. So today we're going to talk about a few things. I have an amazing guest in the office, in studio today. And it's Lori Gimelshteyn. I said that right, 3 syllables. She reminded me. Founder of the Colorado Parent Advocacy Network, CPAN. And she's talking about the attack on our children. Yesterday we had Ted on, who talked about the effects of a vaccine and how it took the life of their son. And it didn't take the life of their son quickly. It was a 36-year fight until he finally passed away in 2017. So, I look at the elections and I look at what's happening collectively in the country. And no matter where we look, we can see it. We can see the pure evil. We can see the lack of accountability. We can see the lawlessness. We can see the stolen elections. We can see what they're doing to our children and grooming and going through these things in a way that parents they feel helpless. So you have some parents that leave their kids inside of that environment because, frankly, they don't have the resources to homeschool them. They have to go to work. They have to do all these things. And then you have the other parents that homeschool their kids that now are under attack by the CPS, showing up at their front door saying, oh, we're going to take your children away from you. You have to affirm that they're a different gender. You have to affirm your children, or we get to decide the future of your children. Mm-hmm. It's chilling. So let me just tell you a little bit about Lori. So she turned a national firebrand. She mobilized 35,000 signatures to get HB 251312's speech-crushing tyranny, leading to landmark lawsuits shredding school districts for secret gender transitions. Getting firing proud American, I call them proud American deans. They probably aren't. What's that? I can't hear you. You can get on.
Dean.
Oh, so that, so talking about the proud American deans. Okay, got it. You're the one that wrote all these basic notes for me to go through, just so you know, Patrick. I hold you responsible. But we're also going to talk about Mamdani. We're going to talk about that, but we're going to talk with Lori right now because I think there's a lot to go through. And we had Aaron on, whose daughter was almost a victim of this environment up in Fort Collins, and it's real. It's scary. Parents today they're having children, and the first thing that they're worrying about is what is going to happen in 5 years when they go to school. So I'm going to let Lori tell you a little bit about herself. And other than that, Lori, it's great to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate being here.
So tell everyone, you've been doing this for decades. You've been working in grassroots environments for the last few decades?
Not quite. I'm a speech pathologist by background and discipline, been in private practice for over 2 decades. We moved to Colorado back in 2011, intentionally moving from all over, Air Force family.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Massachusetts, and my husband is actually immigrated to the States when he was 7 from the former Soviet Union.
Okay, great.
And he enlisted in the Air Force at 17 and commissioned at 24. We married at 30, and here we are in our 50s. And we had this great opportunity to come to Colorado and go to Buckley Air Force Base, and we intentionally chose to live in the Cherry Creek School District.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm. And, we were just moving on with our lives, and in 2020, our kids at the time were in 5th and 7th grade, respectively, and then we had the 2-week shutdown that turned into forever. And then the following school year, when our children started going back to school, they were in 6th and 8th grade, and so they were at Infinity Middle School in the Cherry Creek School District.
Okay.
And
this is in 2020?
This is in 2020, the 2020-21 school year. And our daughter came home one day, and she shared with us that her friend Stella was now going to be River. And River was going to use he, his, him pronouns and use the boys' room. Now, this
you flew through those pronouns pretty quick.
That's 3 years later. So what happened? I didn't know what she was talking about because the transgender craze had not hit yet. This was something new. So we had started seeing a lot of things.
Somebody dropped a bomb.
It was a bomb, and it was an intentional bomb. It was because there was getting too much heat on uppercase DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is neither diverse or equal. It's fraud. And there was a lot of attention in Cherry Creek on that. And then all of a sudden, this gender ideology bomb dropped. And in my mind, I thought, I must have missed the email, right? I must have missed the email from the school about this.
Did you go through them?
And I did. And so, and I commented to Jenny because I didn't know what this was. And I said, whoa, that's really progressive of River's parents to ask the school to do a workshop. And she said to me, Joe, she said, oh, no, Mommy, River goes home every day as a girl. His parents have no idea. And so that was the first alarm bell.
Wait, what?
Yeah. And so 2 weeks after that, our son, who was in 8th grade at the time, asked for help on an assignment. And so I sat down at his desk, and the assignment was, why is your favorite hobby racist? Why? And to get full points, he had to write racist against people of color. And the goal of the activity was he had to create a charitable organization to fight racism in his favorite hobby, which is skiing. So he had started a charitable organization called LIFT to fight racism in skiing. And he was using words, he's in 8th grade, and this is English language arts honors, anti-racist, segregationist, white privilege, oppressor. And so I just thought, this is insane. And I said, Chris, you're going to get an F on this paper before you lie. I was furious. And he looked at me, he said, Mom, you don't understand. I have to think one way at home and another way at school.
Wait, what?
Yeah. And so my mind is just blown, and I'm angry, and I think, I'm talking to my husband, and I think, we just have an activist teacher. That's what I thought. We've got Biden, Trump, George Floyd, that vaccines, masks. It was just a crazy polarizing time in America. And so I called the principal. And after I got off the phone with the principal, I said to my husband, we're in really big trouble.
Okay. So 2020 hit us out like now you didn't hear any of this prior to 2020?
None.
I mean, are you sure it wasn't happening in the school that you just didn't know about it?
It definitely was, now that we have hindsight and we can look in.
Right.
But at the dinner table back before 2020, we're not having necessarily engaging conversations on politics and diversity, equity, and inclusion. But what we are doing is we're having blind trust in our school districts, and we send our kids every day to school and we say, listen to your teacher.
It is. I can tell you right now, that is the psychology of why kids show up and my parents must know that they're teaching us this.
100%.
Right?
And we started hearing little things around the dinner table. For example, if I said, pass the salt, my kids would say, Mom, that's racist, because salt is white. Okay, little things
Wait,
like
past
this.
the salt is raisin?
Yeah.
You're kidding,
And
right?
so, we started having these conversations and we started to realize that our son had really taken a lot of this information, and I went to the school board. That's what, as a parent, you should be able to do. And I thought, gosh, all I have to do is go to the school board and explain what's happening at the school.
And they'll be
they'll
like,
fix
okay,
it.
they'll fix it this time.
And the very next day, I was on the front page of a paper as a crazed mom, crazed parent, militia leader, white supremacist, anti this, anti
You're a militia
that.
leader too, huh?
All of it. And I couldn't believe it, Joe. I just could not believe it. And then the next thing I know, which was so hurtful, is people that I have known for years turned away. And they chose to believe this propaganda in the media, and they were falling for it. And I was just overwhelmed, and I wasn't sure what to do. But now I'm really engaged, and I'm learning quite a bit about school board policy. I'm starting to get engaged on learning about what's happening up at the legislature, and I'm learning all this stuff. And I'm starting to reach out to other parents. And I had the great good fortune of getting connected to Dr. Alveda King.
Yes.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s niece, and
she's amazing.
She's amazing.
I've had her on the show. She's absolutely.
She's so wonderful, and she's praying over us. And at the time, I was thinking, maybe I'll start a parent advocacy group for Cherry Creek, and because I know all these parents that came here because they want their kids to have a quality education, but we have some issues. And she said to me, I really think you just need to consider opening a statewide organization because parents across the whole state are going to need your help. And she said, it won't be that much more work. Well, she was wrong about that part, but she was right about starting a statewide organization. And I spent a good 5 months really networking and spending time in discernment, because if I was going to take on this venture, I wanted to ensure that I wasn't duplicating efforts already. And so I started networking with our partners at the Foundation Against Intolerance and Racism and Defending Education, formerly Parents Defending Education, here in the state with Independent Institute, and other organizations as well, meeting with education policy directors, spending time with people up at the legislature, learning about policies, practices, and legislation that were, impacting. All parents want to do is raise their kids according to their morals and values. Right. And when policies, practices, and legislation stand in the way of that fundamental role, and we have government overreach into your ability to parent your kid, there's nobody there to help you. And that's where CPAN comes in. That's where we are filling that gap, because together we are saying parents will not be sidelined. We will be heard. And CPAN stands in the gap and helps families to advocate to protect their fundamental right to raise their children.
Okay, so I have to ask you this question. I think it's really important. It's an important question. Is this a fight between good and evil? I mean, are we looking at, is this fundamentally different than just two ideologies?
I do believe it is a fundamental fight between good and evil. And the reason why I say that is because when you dig into what we're seeing happening in classrooms across the country, and not just classrooms, Joe, I mean, it's in the education system, it's in healthcare, it's in the legislature, it's in family court, it's in child protective services. Every system designed to help the family is weaponized. And people will say, well, why is this happening? Why would they do that? And there is only one reason.
There's a lot of people that say that, by the way. I mean, I'll have this conversation and people will look at me with like 20 eyes. Yeah. And I go, look, listen, good people don't recognize evil in its early stages because it's subtle. And you didn't know what they were doing at school. My son came home in 2019 and said, Dad, Mario said that I have microaggressions, that I'm a racist, and I was like, tell him to piss off.
How old's your son?
He's 25.
Okay.
He went to DU, but he went to Valor first, so he didn't have any of those problems at Valor, and he was pretty isolated, which is good and bad. I mean, there's you want to talk about bad Christianity and getting a dose of that, you get that when you go to the Harvard of high schools in Colorado, but when he went to DU, man, they force-fed him the propaganda at a rate that was unbelievable.
Well, and it's so tragic because so many families, had their children K through 12, and it really, this really ramped up in 2000.
Right.
And nobody really became awake or aware of it until 2020. So there is a good 20 years where all of this indoctrination under the guise of inclusion and equity and diversity, they use all these kind words. And my friend Alvin Louie, who runs an organization called Courage is a Habit, who you would love to have on the show, he says they use our vocabulary but not our dictionary, and they weaponize our kindness.
They weaponize the vernacular. Yeah, they do.
And I see it every day in every arena, and I have a lot of friends who've been duped by it. These are really kind, loving people that think they're doing the right and kind thing, but this is not kind. It is evil.
That brings me down to the fundamental rights that we have as parents. You have a right to raise your children based on your values, and by not giving parents that choice, because they've weaponized everything around you. But then also making sure that you really don't have an avenue to redress your grievance. You can't go to the judiciary, because what happens when you go to the judiciary? They're the rotted ideologues that are putting this stuff inside the schools. So we're in essence, we're in a war right now.
Right.
And the fundamental victim is our children. Like, our lives are half over, if not more, right? I mean, that's just that. Do the math.
It's our children and our grandchildren and the future of the country.
And generations will never see.
Yeah, quite honestly, this comes down to the future of America. And when I really started to see that early on, when I was beginning this, I had a conversation with my husband, and I said, I genuinely am feeling called into this, and I will testify that God is in the story. God is in the story for me, because I was nothing more than a Sunday Christian, at best, living my best life. And when this happened, and I really had to start to think about why people were turning away from me and the amount of hate that I was receiving, I had nowhere left to go but to pray. And I spent a lot of time in discernment, and I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to stop working as a speech pathologist, which is a career that I love. I love working with families and helping people. And there was just this constant pull. And my good friend Kane with Task Force Freedom up in Weldon, Larimer counties in northern Colorado, he said to me, he's like, "Lori, all you have to do is say okay. All you have to do is say okay." And one day I just sat there in my living room and I looked up and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And we haven't looked back. We're about to celebrate our 3rd birthday in November for the Colorado Parent Advocacy Network. And we are fundamentally shifting the culture here in Colorado, which is, I think, one of the most important things that your listeners, your viewers can take to heart is I have so much hope. Where we were 5 years ago and where we are today is night and day. Now, yesterday with the election, that was a bloodbath. That was a mess.
Well, and look, I'm a system architect. I'm not just a podcaster. I've been in tech for the better part of 14 years. Actually, before that in different aspects. But I can tell you right now that there is not a free and fair election in the entire country, and that the entire system is made up. The entire system. So they won yesterday by 50.1%, 50.2%. This happened. You had a guy that literally called for the death of his opponent and their children, and that guy was who they put in the chair. It's not true. It's not true. People are fundamentally good people, and they have cheated this election from end to end, and daring us to do something about it.
Well, it's really interesting because when you look at the election in 2021, the off-year election for school boards and local municipalities, we still have about the same voter turnout from 2020 to today.
Yeah.
And it's similar numbers, right? And it doesn't make sense because the culture is shifting.
Yes.
And
people are paying more attention.
People are engaged, and they know what's happening. They're witnessing it in their classrooms. And just in Cherry Creek alone, 5,000 students have left the school district. and sought out other alternatives for education. And so we're seeing that across the state. So to me, it doesn't make logical sense that we would be seeing similar numbers, similar turnout when the people know what is happening and they're engaged and they're informed. Now, back in 21, most people had no clue what was happening. Today, they do.
So let's talk about your children. They're older now.
Yeah, my son is a freshman at Purdue University, and our daughter is a junior in high school, and she goes to a local private Christian school.
Okay.
So we pulled her out of Cherry Creek in 7th grade because she was just, it was so heartbreaking. I talked to a lot of parents. Anxiety and mental health is a crisis in the state of Colorado. It's being caused by the education system.
Yeah, it's a conflict.
They're priming our children to have mental health care issues. And we can absolutely talk about that and how the system has been weaponized with transformative social emotional learning and all the mental health legislation that is passed that allows children as young as 12 to access mental health care without their parents' knowledge or consent. But we could see that Jenny was really struggling. And so we pulled her. We put her in a charter school for 8th grade, and then we put her into private school for high school. And it has fundamentally changed her life. So, I tell parents, if your kid has a stomachache every morning or is crying and doesn't want to go to school, it's not because, school is hard. It's because something is happening in that environment that is causing them great pain. And you need to address it. You cannot have blind trust in your school. And quite honestly, you can't have blind trust in a charter school, a private school, or any school, because you will always have substitute teachers coming in. For example, when my daughter was in a charter school, classical charter, she had a substitute come in and spend an entire hour in her English class teaching the children about racism against non-binary people. Now, the charter school did a great job in not continuing to have that sub come in, but that sub's going to another school. And so you do have to be vigilant. We have great resources on our website at coloradoparents.org. If people go to the Parents tab, we actually have conversation starters because parents don't know that they need to talk to their children. Are you drinking water during the day? That's a big one. A lot of kids aren't drinking water. They're coming home with headaches, not feeling well, they're tired. And it's a lot of times it's because there is a biological male in the female restroom.
So I want to ask you a question that fundamentally I think we have to answer. And I always preface it by this because I've asked you about your children, which is difficult because your son went to Purdue. I assume you were able to capture him back into sensibility, right?
Oh, yeah.
Shake him free. Now he's going to Purdue, tough school, right? For keeping that, for keeping that.
He was the last valedictorian in Cherry Creek School District. They eliminated that merit because it inflicts harm on other children. That's literally their rationale, that it inflicts harm. And we were able to pull Chris back. And he really can critically think.
Okay.
And he just
told him to think for yourself. just basically.
Yeah, and he questions us. He will absolutely put on the critical thinking cap in conversations with his parents and with me as a statewide leader of a parent advocacy group, really fighting back against this nonsense that's in our classrooms and everywhere. But yeah, our kids, we were able to pull them to safety.
Why attack children in such a vulnerable state? Well, why would they choose that? Why would they choose? I know that it's going to cause great angst and consternation amongst parents. They change the rules. It's happening in conservative areas as well as liberal areas, which means that our education system is rotted to the core across the entire nation. So you have a captured judiciary, you have a captured education environment, you have people even President Trump and others that act like, oh, we've got rid of DEI, we snapped our fingers and it's gone.
No.
It hasn't gone anywhere.
No, it hasn't gone anywhere. And a matter of fact, the school districts here are ramping efforts up.
Yeah.
So thankfully, we are engaged with the Department of Education through CPN as a stakeholder with the Department of Ed and with the Department of Justice. So we are doing quite a bit of work with Office of Civil Rights complaints. So you say like, well, we can't win by going to school boards. We're not winning by talking to our House reps and senators. What can we do? What can we do? And so we can file Office of Civil Rights complaints. We can expose things in the media. We can file lawsuits. In the last 12 months, we have facilitated 5 lawsuits in the state of Colorado. And so we are raising awareness and we are shifting the culture. And so you ask the question, why did they go after the kids? And, they know that if they capture the minds of the youth, they will control the future of this country. And they're there to purposefully divide children from their family. And I'm sure you will agree that this is the march towards Marxism or communism. It is a fundamental attack on America and the idea of America.
So there's a guy named Yuval Noah Harari. Do you know who he is?
No.
World Economic Forum.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, now I do.
Yeah, and he basically stated, he was they're bragging about it. So you have Soros and you have all these people that brag about this. And to a large degree, I'm still trying to figure out how they got to the place where they're that evil. I mean, these are godless people. These are people that don't believe in God at all. And I've learned to differentiate cultures, I'm a Christian, Jewish, Catholic. I mean, you fill in I'm a mutt. Right, and so my family, I'm a very diverse relationship with lots of different cultures. My family's interracial. But he said something that was interesting and with such power, because I think that we have to look at it from the perspective of the why. Like, why would anybody do this to our children? But he said that they have found a way to hack the human brain. I mean, do you think that they found a way to hack the human brain?
Well, I mean, I think we see brainwashing tactics all the time.
And it's pronounced. I mean, it's
very pronounced, and it's very evident. You can see how radicalized people have become, and they're using propaganda techniques that we're very familiar with. I mean, our country has used techniques like that against other countries, and now they're using it against us.
They're not only using it against us, and now we don't even have MAGA. Like, MAGA is now 40 different camps. And, the pro-abortion or anti-abortion is in 16 different camps. And everything has been divided in such a way that you can't even have a conversation with people that you think you should be like-minded with. What's the end? Where do you see things I mean, I'm going to ask you a scary question. Where do you see things in 5 years? Are we going to be better in 5 years? Are we worse in 5 years?
I'd like to see where we are in the next 3 years.
Okay.
I think that I am very pleased with the administration in terms of their response, but at the same time, people need to recognize and understand that executive orders are gone as soon as President Trump is out of office, and we have to change legislation. So how do we do that? So we have a radicalized legislature here when you go up to the Capitol. And if the only time you've ever been to the Capitol is to go for a field trip, you need to go up to the Capitol and step into that house and engage, because we don't have an actively engaged citizenry in our country. And I am grateful that I am seeing
Lori,
that change.
I have asked 50 people in the last month, what's the Fourth Amendment? Do you know how many people can tell me what the Fourth Amendment is? People
can't tell you what any amendment is. I literally had a conversation yesterday with a neighbor. I won't call it a conversation. I put a Facebook post up that said, are you an American or a communist? That's the question. And
that must have gone over well.
Oh boy, yeah, on your personal Facebook page. I did that on purpose. I wanted to see what the responses would be. I had responses, you can be an American and a communist.
These are people that responded to you, that you're
these
friends.
are people that are lawyers.
Are these your friends on Facebook?
No, these are people that I went to high school with, that you are friends with. I intentionally try to push the narrative because I want to be able to have a conversation with people that we should be able to talk with. You should spend time with people that disagree with you.
I spend a lot of time.
And you should spend time debating ideas. And one neighbor said, the question is, are you for fascism or against fascism?
Oh, of course. Dog
And
whistle.
so, exactly. So, you're comparing apples and apples. They're the mirror image of each other. And I talked about how, the Constitution grants us our rights. Our rights are granted to us by our Creator, right? That's how it's written, is our Creator. And they're endowed by our Creator. And he lost his mind and said, you lost all credibility when you start talking about religious nonsense. And I said, so it's clear to me that you've never even read the Declaration of Independence. And you're stating that you understand, the founding ideals of our country. And so you're dealing with people that will say, America is all of these different things. You can be an American and be a socialist. You can be an American and be a communist. You can't.
You cannot.
Because one is about individual freedom and one is about state control. And they are not the same thing. You may absolutely believe in those things because that's the great thing about our country is you can believe anything you want to be and you can talk about anything you want.
You can be a cat.
Yes, you can.
You can be a cat.
Unfortunately,
yes. You
yes.
can be a cat. Do you think we debate the ridiculous? Do you think at some point we debate the ridiculous?
We could have a lot of fun talking about all the things happening in schools.
Well, I mean, and you get to touch on the things that are happening in the schools, and I get the chance to talk to kids all the time, right? So I have lots of nieces and nephews that are just my nieces and nephew because I'm Uncle Joe. And I want to tell you a story. I'm going to go sideways here for a minute. I had a friend of mine's daughter that came to me when she was 14. And she said, Uncle Joe, I'm bisexual. I just went, okay. And a short time later, came and said, I'm gay. And I kissed her on top of her head, and I said to her, are you chopping your legs off? And she said, no. And I was like, okay, you're still the same beautiful young lady you were before. And I didn't say anything else because she didn't actually know what she was. Fast forward 10 years later. She calls me and she says, Uncle Joe, I need to meet with you. She's 25 years old at the time. And I said, hey, no problem. Now, she had gone through college. She had her dark period where she dressed up in black. She went through a lot of different things. And she's living with a girl. She's completely in the LGBT, whatever you want to call it, environment. She reads my stuff all the time. My business partner is a gay, married, Jewish father of two, right? Try to fit that all into he's one of my best friends, been my partner for 14 years. So I sit down at breakfast with her the first time, have coffee, and then we have lunch. Okay, the coffee was the most important one because we sat down, and she goes, Uncle Joe, I don't think I'm gay. And she tells me about her teacher, which was 13 years old. That convinced her that she wasn't comfortable in her own body. I don't know a 13-year-old that is comfortable. And so she told me who the teacher was. I'm not gonna tell you what I did, but I did do something to that teacher. And that teacher stole 10 years of her life.
And Governor Polis just codified that practice.
Yeah, and I actually sent her a text saying you need to listen to what we're talking about right now.
She's definitely not alone. We actually have an incident reporting tool. It's the heart of our advocacy at the Colorado Parent Advocacy Network, and we manage a lot of really heartbreaking cases that are very similar to,
She's getting married.
Oh, great! That's wonderful news.
To a dude.
That's great. That's great news.
She moved out literally 2 days after this conversation, and I was bawling. I mean, it was an incredibly difficult thing. Look, I want to hurt people that I love, right?
I understand.
And but never during that time. She's like, look, you're the only one that. She was. Here's the problem that I see. Once you're in it, you don't know how to get out of it.
You don't.
right? And there's no off ramp.
Especially if you've separated from your family.
Yeah, and she did.
Yeah, and that is a tactic, right? That is one of their tactics that they're using. Your parents won't, love you anymore. They're not going to believe that you're transgender.
Yeah.
They're going to be abusive. They basically call parenting abuse.
Yeah.
That's what's happened. That is the new narrative. So
how is that not? How can people not fight against this? I mean, how are more people not really pissed off? Like, I want my children to be happy. I have two beautiful kids, but they're the fruit of a good tree. Because my son came and told me he was a cat. I tell you what, it might get shock therapy.
yeah.
So,
you would say no, but now in the state of Colorado, that's illegal.
Yeah.
Okay, it's against the Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act.
Yeah, I don't care
so,
what they say.
and that's a key thing. I'm right now involved in a lawsuit against the state of Colorado for my First and 14th Amendment rights, because House Bill 2513-12, deceptively titled Legal Protections for Transgender Individuals, prohibits me from speaking freely.
We're under siege.
And they're criminalizing speech, they're criminalizing parenting, they've changed the laws to give children rights over their parents. And it's our constitutional right, our fundamental sacred role is to direct the upbringing, care, and education of our children. And so when you see practices over the last 5 years in these schools, oh no, that's not happening. We don't have CRT. We're not pushing LGBTQ. And then the next thing you know, it's codified into law.
Yeah.
So we have seen practices turn into law that now direct policy. We have children as young as first grade learning about LGBTQ in social studies, because Governor Polis made that group of people a minority. And you have to teach about minorities in social studies. So comprehensive sex ed came in 2019 through the legislature, requiring public schools.
But they had to steal elections in order to get all this stuff done. And I think that's my biggest problem, is that we fundamentally don't understand how to separate symptoms from problems. And if we don't fundamentally get to the problem, right? And parents feel like they're alone. So, I mean, where you are, and they're invisible. It doesn't matter. And look, 45% of this state lives below the poverty index. 45%. It's one of the largest, poorest states by index, by percentage in the country. Okay? So you have a very large group of people that live in Denver, in Aurora, in different areas that have what I call deserts, like food deserts, opportunity deserts, and education deserts. Those three things make them the most vulnerable. And their parents either have to work, or they're out doing crack, or they're in jail. It's a whole bunch of problems that
they become reliant upon the government. And that is not an actively engaged citizenry. And our government is so out of control and so big, and not following the rule of law, and not really following any of the founding principles of our country. But, I think parents do have a voice. We recognize and understand, and I hear this a lot. You're certainly not the first person, nor will you be the last person that fundamentally believes that if we do not fix the elections, we can't fix anything.
Correct.
And
by the way, I don't think the elections are rigged. I know for an absolute fact, I know how it works, I know why it works. I have studied it for 5 years. I have a very good understanding of where it came from, who was responsible for it. And by the way, if that little prick Eric Coomer wasn't actually the one that on that call, I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have been anything. Yeah, I would have thought that it was weird in 2020 and it was stolen, but I wouldn't have dug as deep as I did into the election stuff. So there's
it's actually personally something that's pretty significance to me. I am a commissioner on the Election Commission in the city of Aurora, and
all of your election systems are fraudulent.
Yes, we are working incredibly hard to bring accountability and transparency.
Get rid of the machines and mail-in ballots.
And I'll tell you, that is my number one recommendation, is that Aurora takes back their elections. We don't contract out to 3 different counties that use any type of machine.
Danielle Jersky is one of the most popular people out there, lost her election yesterday.
Yes, she did.
right?
A
Do you
good
believe
friend
that?
of mine. I can't believe it. I can't.
She can't go anywhere. Everyone in Aurora loves her.
Right. And I cannot believe it. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It doesn't make logical sense.
No.
We are in 2025. People know what's happening.
Right.
They're feeling it. Everybody knows somebody
Right.
that's been impacted by gender ideology.
Right.
Everybody knows somebody that does not feel safe. Everybody knows someone that is struggling. And that is why I cannot believe the results from yesterday. And I will share, and this is a little bit off topic and not related to Colorado Parent Advocacy Network and our work there, but I'm very concerned about the elections because we are losing school boards all across the state. Why is that?
Douglas County.
Douglas County,
the reddest county out there, turned into a bunch of communists.
Right.
Are now in there.
Mm-hmm. And
by the way, it's deeply, deeply red. I don't care what anybody says, deeply
right.
red. And they took that as well, and not by a small margin.
Right. And you can see the very significant difference between the ideology that each party is bringing. And so you literally have common sense, and then you have lunacy. And
it's not progressive. We're not talking about progressive. These aren't progressive values.
No.
These are almost Martian green people values.
It is very
Destroy
alarming.
humanity.
People that genuinely want to destroy this country.
Mm-hmm.
And half the kids in the state of Colorado are not at grade level in reading, writing, or math. They can't comprehend what they're reading.
Right.
And we have an entire generation of kids that don't know how to write in cursive. So guess what they can't do now? They can't sign their name. They don't have a signature. When my 18-year-old son came back, he had a letter from the Secretary of State to cure his signature because it was different than what he had on his license. And his remark to me was, "Mom, my signature's changed 4 times since I signed that." So they're creating a generation of people that don't have a signature. They're creating a generation of people that have such significant mental illness that they've been hospitalized and on medications for years that will never be able to get a gun. They are weaponizing what's happening to our children to control future elections and to control guns. And being kind of going back to the election, I toured the Arapahoe County facility last year, and it's all smoke and mirrors. They make all this pomp and circumstance about Democrats and Republicans bringing in, these ballot boxes, everything's secure, everything's, under the watchful eye, and you got all these people working, and then you think, well, what about those mail-in ballots? They don't get that same level of security. I pop it in my mail. It goes in some contractor's back of their truck all the way, hopefully, to the United States Postal Service, where it sits in a bin in an open facility. But we have to make all this pomp and circumstance about the ballot boxes coming in. And there's all this conversation on...
You have a centralized counting facility. You have a contract with Runbeck and or a Continental to actually print the ballots.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea what ballots are actually coming back, who touched them when they were out, whether or not they ever got mailed out, whether or not they just showed up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know whether or not the thing that showed up from UPS is actually not just going straight from Runbeck over to the counting facility.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about our election system is fraudulent. Now, there's not one part of it that is not fraudulent, including the RLAs, the risk limited audit, because it predetermines based on an algorithm inside the system which ballots you pull, which means they can tell you to which ones to stay away from, right? A rootkit inside of a program behind a black box can do everything on the voting, and you never have to touch it. And that's why Tina Peters is sitting in jail for 9.5 years right now.
And what we have to understand is that when you highlight this information, I know you understand this.
Yeah.
But when you question, when you question, can we have a discussion about this? And you're immediately told to cease and desist spreading misinformation. That tells you you're right over target. And when I was on this tour, there was so much conversation how there's nothing in the facility connected to the internet. And so then we get to the big black box, right? And only 2 people have access to it. It's inside a glass case. It's inside another glass case, and only 2 people have access to it. And they say, and then we send the results to the Colorado Secretary of State. I said, how? How are you sending these results? If there's no internet access, do you have an Ethernet cable going from Arapahoe County up to Denver? What is this? And they said, oh, we bring in a USB drive and we load the results onto the USB drive and we walk across the street and we upload them onto a computer. And our clerk and recorder doesn't know the numbers because everything's encrypted. And the person that has the encryption code is the Colorado Secretary of State. And I would put that on an affidavit. That is exactly what was stated during my tour.
Okay, so you're on this election commission, and people on that commission with you probably think you're crazy. And I didn't mean to. This is about CPAN. I want to talk about what we have to empower parents. I actually think we're going to war, and I think in the next 60 days you're going to see some civil unrest by normal people like me, who, I mean, I call myself normal. I just frankly have had enough, and I think a lot of parents have had enough.
But the election is a big part of parent advocacy, because if we can't have faith in our election system, we can't make change happen. And so we have to find alternative ways in the meantime to make change happen. And we do that with our lawsuits and our civil rights complaints and exposing things in the media and getting people more engaged. And we are shifting the culture. We are making great gains in that. But I do agree that if we cannot have trust in how the elections are handled, that we have a mess.
Your job is going to become incredibly much more difficult over the next 3 years in the state of Colorado. We have lost every ground. Matter of fact, I think that the count is we lost nearly 90%, 85 to 90% of all seats in this off-year election. They are not. They are swiftly not. They don't care. Like what President Trump says does not matter. Nothing matters.
It's a double middle finger.
So we are a captured state, and which means we as people are slaves inside of the state. Is there any other way to look at it?
I think that's a really great way to describe what's happening in Colorado. And I think this morning a lot of people that are in these grassroots efforts are feeling disillusioned and just disenfranchised. But we the people are going to be what changes the state. We, the people, have to actively engage. We, the people, have to step up. So if that means you get engaged in an organization like the Colorado Parent Advocacy Network or Grandparents for Kids or Free State Colorado, there's so many great grassroots organizations raising awareness.
I'm gonna say something that I think I already know the answer to. What percentage of the people that are part of the CPAN are men?
We actually are growing.
Percentage-wise?
I would say probably 20%. But
you see
interesting.
what's happening though?
And you bring up a really good point. You bring up something really important because, a lot of things that we're seeing in the schools around DEI and this oppressor-oppressed model, if you are a white man, I mean, you are the biggest oppressor there is according to this nonsense that they're pumping into our children. And men have just stepped back because they're being attacked constantly. And I say, we really need to bring back the man.
Right.
We need men to step up into these positions to protect and and I'm seeing more men come to it. I just had we had a great event at Flatirons Church this past weekend for Protect Kids Colorado's ballot initiatives to protect children. So we have 3 ballot initiatives that we're trying to get on the 26th ballot. We've pulled it. It's going to pass if we get it to the ballot. And I had the great opportunity to talk to a bunch of men that were on the security team. And they all have kids in public school. And these are all, involved fathers. They're married. They just
raised taxes, so some of those fathers are going to fall away because they're going to lose their ability to stay engaged because they're going to have to work just a little bit harder.
Just a little bit harder.
Yeah.
You're losing your money. Every which way we turn, we're losing money, and you can't invest it into what you want to invest your money into. They're stealing our money. All of this is theft. LLMM, these school lunches that passed again.
It didn't pass.
It did. Well,
No,
there you go.
I'm
There you
telling
go.
It's
There you go.
65-35. I could have written. I could write you a model, and now they've made it impossible to get access to the cast vote records. Now they're scrambling them,
Correct.
so you can't actually check them for algorithms and changes. Colorado is the gold standard for how you steal elections across the country. Period. And And frankly, I bring that up because if our kids and grandkids and future generations are the most important asset, and fathers are only 20% of the group, until it gets to where fathers are 40, 50, 60% of the group, we have no chance.
And I'll tell you though, the neat thing that's, with everything that's happening.
I said no chance. We do have a chance because God is in control of everything. So I just want to be really clear.
Yeah.
We have a chance. We just have less of an opportunity to make it less painful unless fathers start getting involved.
And we are seeing more men step up into this sphere. But I will say for the last 5 years, it's predominantly been women.
Yeah, because they have bigger cojones than men.
And
men forgot that they were even men.
And we are engaging at a higher level. I think there were so many threats against men. As a provider, you can't afford to lose your job, right? You got a mortgage, you got a family to take care of. You can't step up and say these things. And I had the good fortune of a wonderful husband who's extremely supportive, and we both decided, what's the purpose of me working, if we're going to lose our country, right? And so, and he's very supportive, and it's hard. I work 70, 80 hours a week. It's a tremendous amount on our family, the work that we're doing to protect children and protect parental authority. And we just have to engage more people, and more people are seeing the wins that we're having, and it encourages them. It gets them to get involved with either their time or their talent. We've got a tremendous group of wonderful volunteers that are attorneys, therapists, doctors that are all engaging to help with our incident reporting tools and to really step in where families need the help. But money is a big piece too.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, dude, if you like what we're doing,
Support
don't
us.
give me a high five. Don't tell me great job. Do a $5, $10 monthly recurring donation so that I can hire someone, so we can get more lawsuits, so we can get.
So let's talk about that. You have to pay for lawsuits. These are outside attorneys, or are these attorneys that work for the organization?
Outside attorneys, so both. We do work with national partners that take some of our cases pro bono.
Okay.
And so through our instant reporting tool, we facilitate a lot of different lawsuits. One, we help facilitate a lawsuit against the Cherry Creek School District for firing a middle school dean for stating that he was a proud American.
You mean Patrick?
Patrick. And we were able to work with Patrick for quite a long time, getting his case put together and then submitting it to America First Legal. And we knew this. America First Legal took this case knowing in the state of Colorado that it would be dismissed. We knew that the moment they took the case.
And they admitted that they violated his constitutional rights.
They did.
But are they just hoping that they have enough density nationally that it moves up,
Yeah.
that they can literally get the luck of the draw, and that all of a sudden it'll just go away?
Yeah.
And then the Supreme Court will say, we're not going to,
It's tough with the Supreme Court. Erin Lee, who's one of my best friends and, fighter with me in all of this, her case was just dismissed by the Supreme Court against Poudre Valley School District.
How about that?
And
how do they do that?
Because there's only 2% of cases, I guess, that they can take.
Right.
And there were 2 other cases very similar to Erin's, January Littlejohn out of Florida and a family out of Massachusetts. And they have really strong cases, really strong. And I anticipate that the Supreme Court will take those, and it will have an impact on what's happening here in Colorado. It will set the precedent. So, but look what Erin's done, right? Like, I think people get caught up with, these losses, like, oh, we didn't get there, so we've lost. Look at what Erin Lee has done in this country, across the world, has raised so much awareness about gender ideology in the schools. She has helped thousands of families. So I give her so much praise because she is shifting the culture. And we need to recognize those very strong wins as well.
Okay, so I recognize those wins. You have lawyers on the outside, you have lawyers on the inside.
Yes.
You are pushing on the scales of justice inside the judiciary. How do parents get involved? Is there any way that parents, does the CPAN have the ability for them to have, we just started this group called the Brotherhood, right? It's just brothers, right?
Okay.
Matter of fact, we call it brothers. And I went from 340 people that said I want to be in to, I think we're down to 37, right? So it just shows you how quickly people are like, yeah, I want to get involved, yeah. to I'm busy, right? They don't want to invest the time into it. They don't. Rarely do men invest time in their own marriages or their children, right? So getting to 37 was, I thought it'd be less than that. I thought it'd be 20, right? Or 15, right? Is there a way for these groups to form, let's say in Arapahoe County, and so that you can make them so they can move around, where you can activate them to show up to a school board meeting? Or, I mean, look, if you had 50 to 75 men standing tough while behind someone speaking, they would think twice. Just if somebody was at the podium and says, I got 2 minutes. Hey, John, your address is 1444 Johnson Street, right? That's where you live? And then, oh, yeah, Mary, you're at 1745. I just want to make sure your addresses are correct. Okay, just want everybody to know that. Okay, I don't have anything else to say. Sit down. Next person comes up, talks about, hey, yeah, we're all here supporting this. I don't really want to intimidate people. But these are our children, and there is a loaded revolver at the head of our children every day.
And what I'll say to that, is in that is a strategy.
You had this look on your face like, ugh.
But the teachers union has 100 times what you have. And so if you show up, we brought out Pastor John Amanjukwu with Turning Point Faith back in 23 because we uncovered that Cherry Creek School District was not only in their school libraries having books that contained extremely sexually explicit material that we notified the school board about, and they didn't remove it, but they also have, and this is across the nation, not just in Cherry Creek, but they contract with these vendors, EBSCO, Gale, that create scholastic material, and it's curated. So this isn't a Google search, Joe. It's like, this is curated information for our children. And the only way you can get into it is to access it on a school issued device with your password and your username from the school. So they're tracking data on what you're looking at. And we uncovered so much alarming content in these curated scholarly collections for research databases, linking our children to sex shops, online talk rooms, guns, vaping, cannabis. It was so alarming, and we brought this to the attention of the board, and they said, no, we're just going to ignore you. So we worked with our pals at Libs of TikTok, and we exposed it. It went viral, and we ended up bringing out Pastor John because he was like, I'm going to come. This school district is woke. He was saying, I'm coming out. I'm going to speak at this school board meeting. And John and I had a roommate agreement. We did everything the right way so that he could speak because they require you to be a resident in the district.
Right.
And we ended up, we were told he was not going to be allowed to speak. So we held a rally in the parking lot over at Prairie Middle School.
What do you mean he's not allowed to speak? Why?
Because it's against their policy.
That someone can come in and speak?
Yes. And that's one of the big issues, right? Is they have all these.
So there's no freedom of speech then?
No, there's no freedom of speech. Yeah. So we held a rally so John could speak. And we recorded it, and we had probably about maybe 125 people that came. This is 7 o'clock on a Monday night. It does not make it easy for any parent to get to. The district's enormous. They have these meetings all over the district. And who shows up?
Antifa.
Parasol Patrol, teachers union teachers, all with their flags and their rainbow umbrellas. They're driving vehicles through our crowd of people in the parking lot. And
Lori, I'd have shot him.
Well,
you told me to show up. The second you drive that car through me, I'm putting a bullet right through the windshield. And you could say, Joe, you're a violent guy. Here's the deal. I grew up in the hood. I have done very well. The only way to deal with evil is with force. I didn't say violence, I said force. You're not going to stop evil from taking your children unless you push it back into the hole it came out of. And so this is a hard conversation for you because, frankly, I grew up in a certain way, and I got to a place where I said, you know what? I absolutely don't want to be anywhere near that. I lost a brother that got murdered by a police officer. I have people in my family that have massive issues, right? And so you cannot want that part of who you are to come out and still recognize that all these people are being hurt. And they're driving cars through it because they know that you have good people. Sometimes good people have to raise up the sword.
But what they'll do, because they have the capability and the money,
And by the way, everyone, this is not Lori's words. These are my words. And by the way, Kyle Clark, you already know these are my words, right? I just want you to know. Everybody knows these are my words because, frankly, I think you're evil. And the only way to push out evil is to basically with force. But if you drive a car through me, I'm good. Sorry.
And you know what you're describing, you know, can we have, you know, 50, 60 parents come to a school board meeting? You absolutely can do that, but they're going to have 300 of their activists. Whatever you have, multiply it by 3. They're going to have that much more. And then
we have
and
to
then
do
they're
better
going to
at that.
coordinate with Kyle Clark and Mallory because we cored those communications after this event. We cored the communications between the director of communications at Cherry Creek and 9 News, where they said, CPAN is coming to this event. We need you to cover it. And you've got a direct line to Dave Perry at the Sentinel, who, you know, puts a picture on the front page of me screaming. I wasn't screaming. I was calling the superintendent a liar because he is a liar. He lied to these families. He lied about pornographic materials in our school libraries available to our children. Links to websites that bring kids to bondage sites. I mean, things you can never unsee as an adult in front of our children.
Let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Let's say you weren't able to save your son. Mm-hmm. How much more angry would you be today?
I am so angry today, even though I was able to save my son. I could have walked out of this a few years ago. I didn't have to do this. I cannot allow this to happen to someone else's child. I will not. There are people that are ignorant. There are people that support this. But I am going to be engaged in this fight because we have to. We, the people, have to do something. And we, the people, need to support organizations that are doing the work. And we, the people, have to show up and not say, well, there's nothing we can do. Because when you say there's nothing you can do, you've given up. And you have to have hope, and you have to have faith, and you have to do the work. And we're getting there. People are seeing it. Culture is shifting. I never thought that I would see the culture shift so much as I have in the last 5 years.
But it's shifting, and we're losing ground because they're using machines in order to take the
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So it's manufactured.
I do agree with you on that. There will be accountability.
People are just gotten to the point where they feel like they're slaves. I talk to people of all walks of life,
Mm-hmm.
both sides, Democrat, Republican, I have conversations with them. Not one of them supports Jared Polis. Mm-hmm. Not one of them. I called up 4 or 5 of my friends that are liberal and in Colorado, and I was like, you gonna vote for this tax increase? They're like, heck no. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? They have enough of our money, and every road's a toll road, and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Everyone can see it. Everyone can see it, Joe.
Yeah.
CPAN, we've got Republicans, Democrats, unaffiliated, atheists, Christian, Jews. We have the gamut. And they all believe the same thing. They have messed with our children. They have messed with our freedom. And we want to stop that. And people know it. I don't think this is a mystery anymore. Governor Polis is, in my opinion, a chameleon. And it makes me so angry recently. I don't know if you've been following the competency laws that recently passed, that were signed into law in 24 and 25, that literally allow violent felons to be dismissed of all criminal charges if they are deemed incompetent. And when I say dismissed, I mean, that's it. You don't even have a court date. Families are going without justice. Families like all the parents at an elementary school in Cherry Creek where Solomon Galligan, a registered sex offender, and accused of multiple violent crimes, dismissed every single time in practice, right? Before this even became a law, he pummeled a woman in front of a district court in Denver, unprovoked. He just started beating her. He was at the time dressed as a woman, identifies as transgender, and a bunch of bystanders came to her to help save her, held him down, and those charges were dropped in practice because he was incompetent.
I would have beat him in senseless.
He showed up.
Why can't I ever be at these places?
Well,
Patrick, I need you to find out where these places are where there's stuff happening, just so I can show up and be a magnet, crap magnet.
With it, it's crazy because Joe, this same guy, registered sex offender, shows up a mile from my house at an elementary school while school's in session and tries to abduct a child off the recess playground. Guess what happened? Deemed incompetent.
Oh, I know. I saw
all charges dropped. Families are
Fifth
suffering.
time.
Yes.
Fifth time.
All families are suffering everywhere. And he's not being committed to a mental health institution for the rest of eternity.
Well, it gets worse.
There are no beds. There
gets
are no
worse. You
providers.
He could walk around with a knife, stab people to death, and he's doing it in parks. You know what you're not allowed to do in parks?
Can't have a gun.
Right.
I put myself in danger every day when I go to Denver. I'm not going to leave my gun in my car. I should be able to protect myself. I do not feel safe in Denver. I cannot protect myself when I go to the Capitol. I have to be escorted out by Capitol Police. I have to be escorted in by Capitol Police because I can't defend myself. And we as a society see what is happening. We see families like Christy Kirst's family in Monument. Christy Kirst was run down in a McDonald's parking lot and killed in front of her child and her grandchildren. And all cases were dropped against Joel Lang. And not only were they dropped, he didn't have to go to, did not have a civic commitment. And he left with his license. He was incompetent to stand trial, but competent enough to keep his license and competent enough to not have to have mental health treatment.
I don't know about that case. Tell me about that case.
It's horrible.
Which case is that?
This is a case out of Monument. I can connect you to if you want to talk to those families.
I mean, look, I'm going to tell you right now, they're making victims of people. There's no difference between what we face here and what you have in Venezuela or you have in third world countries. And let me tell you something. If you want to know how I know, because I've been there. I spent a lot of time in third world countries. There is no justice in third world countries.
None.
People like Tina Peters go to jail in third world countries because they want to keep it hush-hush, while criminals are let out on the street. And they use the crooked system and crooked judges that are freaking demons. And most judges are demons. I'm just sorry, but most of them are. 95% of judges are just not good people.
And I would say that's what we're seeing as well.
Yeah.
That is our experience. That is the experience of families that are in these family courts. But Christy Kirst, mom's got two wonderful girls that are adults, Brittany and Hannah, and Brittany and her mom and Brittany's son, who is 10 now, were in the vehicle. And they pulled up to a McDonald's parking lot just like people do every single day. They were told to pull ahead, and they pulled up next to another car that was waiting, and this car starts backing out and hits their car. And so Christy and her daughter, Brittany, get out of the car to investigate the damage. And the guy steps on the accelerator, hits Christy, she's under the car, drags her 300 feet to her death. And in court, he actually said, I knew I hit her. I knew I was dragging her. I knew I was going to kill her, but I had to get out of there. And when asked what the term incompetent meant, he said, all this goes away. Where is the justice for Christy Kirst's family? And so we're fighting because we've got parents. I won't let my daughter walk our dog around the block. I can't be sure that I can protect her and keep her safe in our neighborhood. Solomon Galligan.
And you live in a good neighborhood.
We live in a great neighborhood.
And your husband's from the Soviet Union, so he knows how to use a shovel. And I can't imagine that he, I was just saying.
Well, and I will say, we are a family that knows how to defend ourselves.
Right.
We are trained gun owners. We are responsible gun owners, but we can't defend ourselves in public. I can defend myself in my house if somebody is attacking me, but I can't defend myself walking the dog if somebody were to try to harm me or my daughter. And the reason CPN stepped into this is because families can't raise their children in a safe environment. And we need the legislature and Governor Polis to convene emergency special session. We cannot wait till January because then it's going to be March. And I'm talking to the district attorneys every single day. We had over 6,000 people sign a petition to the district attorneys because we know what happens at the legislature. They can convene emergency special session. There is nothing standing in their way of doing that to protect Coloradans. Governor Polis has done several things. early in September, he said, I'm going to give local authorities all the resources they need to deal with this. What has he done? Nothing. We do this petition to the DAs. We say, DAs, you're the ministers of justice.
They don't care.
Several of them do.
Who's the ones that do?
I'll tell you the top one that does,
Yeah.
and the only one that signed our declaration of commitment. And there's 23 district attorneys. George Brockler. George Brockler signed that agreement saying that he would stand united to ask Governor Polis and the legislature to convene emergency special session. And but we are working with the district attorneys because guess what?
George is my friend.
George is great.
George, by the way, I have my things because he believes that elections are free and fair.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to tell him that he's full of shit. Just like that.
I think it deserves the investigation for sure. We're seeing problems everywhere.
I asked him to run for AG.
Mm-hmm.
I said, look, I will do free work for you.
Mm-hmm.
And his thing is that, Joe, you're a militiaman, because they've made up all sorts of stories about me. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a warrior. I love children. I love the fact that, look, I left home at 15. I had a very tough childhood. I mean, really tough. And my children never saw any of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a choice.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get older and you see what they're doing to children, you become enraged by the idea that those children could face anything that you faced when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in a poor environment, but now it's come for the suburbs.
Right.
Right? So there's no safe haven.
No.
You can't escape it.
You can't. You can't. This morning, and this is off topic, but woke up and I said to my husband, we have to put our house on the market. We live in Aurora. We just lost 4 conservative seats. They're going to bring in a $30 minimum wage. They're going to make single-family homes, multifamily. We don't have the infrastructure to support this. We've got to go.
Are you
I don't
leaving
want to
Colorado?
go. I will not leave Colorado. I'll stay and fight Colorado. I will fight. I'm not going to be a person that's going to go to Florida. I'm staying. I love this state. Coloradans love this
I've
state.
been here 30 years.
I talk to people every day that think
It's captured.
that this is just
it has
complete.
nothing. Most people are not crazy.
No.
It's like 15%, and they've found a way to own government and to steal elections.
Yes. And I'll tell you, kind of getting back to those competency laws, in April, House Bill 1312, which was the legal protections for transgender individuals, which, by the way, if you need to have special legal protections for a special group of people, we no longer have equality. Because we have equality. Everybody's protected. And we garnered 35,000 signatures on a petition in just about 72 hours. And we printed them by Senate district area, and we delivered them to all the senators because we were being heard in the Senate Judiciary Committee. Over 700 people signed up to testify on this bill, 200 in support, 500 in opposition. The Senate Judiciary Committee lead, a Democrat, said, we're going to just give both sides 4 hours. So only about 80 people out of those 700 people had their voice heard that day. People that traveled from all over the state to say no, to put their foot down and say, this is unacceptable, this is unconstitutional, this is a great violation of our constitutional rights. Because originally in this law, they were trying to define parenting as coercive control.
Right.
Now, they did make a really great smoke and mirrors production because we had so much involvement, so much national attention. We highlighted 4 families in the state that had already lost custodial rights of their children for simply saying, wait, we're going to talk about this newly declared gender identity. They've lost custodial rights before this law went into practice.
This was just up in Mesa County, Grand Junction. They had a parent there.
There were so many families, Durango, Jeffco. So Durango was a case that we broke in the Daily Wire. So Cindy Stein is a mom. It's been a year. It's last November, we received an incident report from her. And her child was groomed by Joanne Smotherman, who was a math teacher at Durango High School. This child has multiple comorbidities, autism, ADHD, anxiety, depression, very socially awkward, doesn't have a strong friend group, and mom was going through aggressive cancer treatments. And this teacher, Joanne Smotherman, who is married to Vivian Smotherman, who is a transgender identifying woman, told this child that the reason she was so unhappy was because the child was a boy.
Groomed.
And that child, and I do need to be careful and put this maybe on background, or let's just have a little check, because if I say pronouns, I could get sued, and I'm in a lawsuit right now. We're suing the state of, so this is kind of on background right now. Don't use this in the.
I'll use pronouns because they can actually say anything they want to me. Just tell me.
I'm suing Phil Weiser right now and the Office of Civil Rights in the state of Colorado as part of a lawsuit with the Colorado Parent
Is it
Advocacy.
under QTAM, or is it a case that's actually going forward in the federal court?
We just finished having our deposition. So
you did you have to ask the court for permission to actually sue Phil Weiser, or you?
No, we're suing
went through
him.
it.
We have
Okay.
Constable McCarthy. We have representation out of Washington, D.C.
Okay.
They're representing Lori Gimelshteyn, CPAN, Aaron Lee with Protect Kids Colorado, 2 Colorado physicians, including Dr. Travis Morrell with Colorado Principled Physicians, and Defending Education, which is a national organization, and also the organization Do No Harm. Both organizations we do a ton of work with. So we're suing the state right now because I am afraid to use my free speech because I could be sued. If I use the incorrect pronouns, I could be sued $5,000 for each time.
I'll use the wrong pronouns.
And then
Who am I using it for?
And then $50,000.
Because I'll give them the big middle finger.
$50,000 for emotional distress, 4 months in prison, and then education camp.
Don't care.
So that's the law. So
Yeah, I
we're
don't care.
suing because we're going to get an injunction on this law.
Why? I don't need an injunction. I don't personally.
Right.
I mean, I'm glad you're
Yeah.
suing, but
Yeah, I mean,
Phil
this
Weiser
is-
can kiss my ass.
This is
He's
so,
a criminal, by the way.
This is so unconstitutional. And
You know, there's a case out against Phil Weiser for embezzlement and bribes.
I'm
being
not
paid.
familiar with that.
$15 million. Polis is a part of it. Phil Weiser is a criminal. I've seen. It's now public. It's now has been moved, and actually the court case is going forward against Phil Weiser, Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, Polis, legislators, Supreme Court justices for the state of Colorado, judges that were a part of this sex pay-to-play scheme that dates all the way back to 2020. I'm telling you, these people are criminals. DOJ is not doing anything about it. Although I do have Pam Bondi's phone number now. I should probably text her and say, hey, listen, you need to look at this case.
I'm intrigued by what we're going to see over the next 3 years. Right now we're stalled.
Good? You feel good?
Yes and no. Cautiously optimistic,
Okay.
maybe. It's tricky because I work at a pace that, the Trump administration has done a tremendous amount of work in the last 11 months. Probably more work than I've ever seen in an administration in my 51 years of life. But it's still too slow. It's still too slow. Kids are being hurt every single
Because
day.
The people that are in the administration they're purposely doing it to slow. They did the same thing in 17. Remember what Rand Paul did? 17, we had the House, Senate, and the presidency. What happened in 18? Flipped House, Senate. President Trump was impeached twice. Right? 2020, they stole the election. They needed to slow it down. They needed to quell the fervor of the people. They're trying to break our spirit. That's what they're trying to do. They're going to break our spirit, and then nobody will show up, just like they did down in Venezuela. They broke those people. And it went from the 3rd largest economy in the world to one of the poorest communities
It's tragic.
in the world.
It's tragic. It's going to happen here. But, there's a lot of the doom and there's a lot of gloom, but we are helping a lot of families. We are shifting the culture. It will come down to we the people. It will.
Oh, it is right now. I agree with you.
It will be the people that change. And
So I want to tell you why I speak the way I do. Number one, I believe that Jesus is my Lord and Savior. I 100% live my life according to doing the right thing by God, period. And with that said, I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid to go to jail. I'm not afraid to get persecuted. This life is temporary. I don't want to live in any world where I'm a captured slave. And it's biblical that the people in bondage will only be delivered from bondage if they act.
yeah. And you really have to, for me, fearing the Lord is far more concerning than fearing man.
Yeah.
I don't fear man. But we have all of these things that are happening. When you think about, CPAN's been around for 3 years formally. I've been actively stepping into the public square for about 4.5. Okay. I was not an engaged citizen. I never had a civics class in high school. I was told, stay away from politics. Politics are bad, let them deal with it. We were all indoctrinated. All of these years, it's a slow boil, if you will. We've been led to believe things that are not true. For example, the myth that homeschool kids are weird. That is a myth.
Some are weird.
Some are weird, but let's take a look at some public school kids. Let's go look at what the state is doing and the kids that are in these schools, because it's alarming. And we have got to step into the arena, and we've got to do it together, because together is the only way it will work.
That is absolutely true. All right, how do people follow you? How do people follow you? This has been a great conversation, and I almost feel like you have to charge me by the hour, because I have to lay on the couch and tell you what I would do. And look, I'm not a violent person, and I do love people. I spent 6.5 years in the Middle East and Africa. I learned Arabic. I loved on people and worked on interfaith dialogue and stopped tribal conflicts. I did great stuff for those years. And so, but I see what's happening in this country, and I've seen it over there. And it's run by the CIA, Mossad, the Pakistani intelligence community, the MI6 or whatever intelligence community they have in there. It's deep, and these are deep demonic people that have done this, and they funded it through our own dollars. So we're actually funding ourselves.
We've paid for this to happen. We paid for what happened in the election. We're paying for everything through our tax dollars. They're stealing from us to take over us. And people can connect with Colorado Parent Advocacy Network at coloradoparents.org. That's our website, coloradoparents.org. And they can follow us on social media. So on X, we are at CPAN Colorado. Facebook, Instagram, you can just search Colorado Parent Advocacy Network. And together, we can restore a parent's authority to be able to direct their child's upbringing, care, and education. And we need to do it together. And we need to be strategic, and we need to be hopeful. We need to listen to God, and we need to do this now. Because if we don't step into the arena now, it's going to be too late, and this country will be gone. Your freedom will be gone.
Yeah, guys, I want you to take the time to share this interview specifically, okay? I know that the censorship gods will not like that, gods with a lowercase g, but I need you to take the opportunity to understand that if we don't do something for our children, forget it. If we don't do something for someone other than ourselves, we've already lost. Like, there's nothing left to talk about. You are the Daniel Pearl of today. And if you don't know who he is, he was the guy that they kneeled in front of a camera. They made him denounce the United States, and then they cut his head off. And they killed over 3,000 people in New York in 2001. This is the same sort of terroristic behavior. And they brought it here. And then they made Mamdani the mayor. Which, by the way, I read this morning, there's really not a whole lot of damage he can do. I mean, he said he wanted to do a bunch of stuff he can't do. It's like saying that you're running for class president, senior class president, and you're like, and I'm going to make sure everybody gets an A. You can't. You can't get everybody an A. So
it is going to fuel the Democrat Socialists of America Party. It's going to spread like wildfire. It's going to really... you've seen this transition. Democrats, we're Democrats, No, they're Democrat Socialists of America. No, they're not Democrats, they're Democrat Socialists of America. And they keep, coming in as, I'm a Democrat. No, you're a Democrat Socialist of America. And that is... You're
not an American.
Does not coincide with our founding principles or belief systems. And that party is growing rapidly. That party is at our state capitol. It is not Democrats versus Republicans at the state capitol at all. It is the Democrat Socialists of America masquerading as Democrats. And
they're stealing elections. And I'm telling you right now, the stealing of elections is a bigger problem. Every organization out there should be talking about it. The Heritage Foundation, by the way, is finally on board. A friend of mine was at a meeting, and they were like, of course the elections were stolen. Everyone that I talk to in private will not talk about it in public, but they know in private that what I'm saying is true. They're deathly afraid to mention it, which means there's a demon behind there that has, they have stuff on everybody, right?
And it's really interesting to watch that, because you do have to say, what is it that they've got on you that you're not willing to stand up for what is right and true? You know, I think that about a lot of people in the news media. What is it that they have on you that would make you compromise your principles and your morals and your beliefs? And
you know,
it's
money
happening.
and
Like,
power do a lot of things. If you ever go to DC, it's very easy to get sucked into it.
yeah.
It's very easy.
And you witness it, right? Because a lot of good people try to step up into leadership positions, political positions, people that are, you know, good people. And then the influence, if you are easily influenced out of your principles, that is very problematic.
Yeah.
And it's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Educators, we have a lot of wonderful, principled people in education. We have a lot of principled, wonderful people in healthcare. We have a lot of principled, wonderful people in the legislation. But if you're more concerned about losing your job than you are about protecting children, if you're more concerned about not being able to pay for your mortgage instead of protecting children, well, guess what? You're not going to have a home. You're not going to have a country. You're not going to have freedom.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, poor people know this.
Yes.
Poor people know what it's like to be poor and then to also be poorer. Like people that are just making it, and a vast majority are just making it, they don't even know. They have no idea what it's like to have. I say this to all the Democrats out there that don't understand what's coming. They're the food.
Right.
And I say that, look, Republicans will find a way to work themselves out of it. There'll be less of us because people will fall out. They'll just end up killing themselves. They'll do a lot of bad stuff to themselves, right? But the Democrats that are down there thinking it's going to get better under socialism, they're going to get eaten first.
Correct.
Right? So they're setting up and handing them the knife and saying, please stab me to death and do that to all my children and everyone in my family.
Yeah. We'll all be equally poor.
Equally suck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Life will suck.
Embrace the suck. I might move to another country or something. Try to run away from it. You can't. This is a global problem. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'll talk about a bunch of stuff. Lori, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Joe. It's such a pleasure to sit down and talk with you.
Listen, I need you guys to go to Colorado Parent. It's
Parents
CPAN.
with an S.
Yeah, Colorado Parents. ColoradoParents.org. ColoradoParents.org. And drop a few dollars. All right. A little bit on, like I said before, on the gold stuff, right? So put away a little bit of gold. I pick organizations and then I just give them little dollars. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go get a coffee. I just buy a pound of coffee and I can donate the $3 a month. And I do that 20 times. So you can literally pick organizations, just drop $2 or $3, drop $5, and then pick 20 organizations. Those are your guys. That's your $100 a month that you're doing that. And by the way, if you put money in the church deal for them to tell you that everything's fine and just give us all your money, don't. The organizations that are out there, it is a tithe. It is biblical. If they're doing the Lord's work, if they're doing things to restore things, drop $2 or $3. Be a part of the solution. The golf clap doesn't help. Prayers do help. But if you can spare $2 or $3 for CPAN, I will. I'm committing right now. I will make sure you give money to CPAN.
Thank you.
And I'm broke. I'm not broke, but I'm almost broke. They're taking it all out of me. Just a few dollars. Do the right thing, a few dollars, and yeah, let's try to get to the end of this. All right? Lori, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Joe.
All right. We'll be right back.
My first time here shooting at the shooting range.
How's it going? It's also my first time, and I'm really excited.
It's also my first time here, first time shooting guns.
My day off of work, and they were like, hey, want to shoot some guns? That was awesome. The revolver is crazy. I will definitely come again.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really cool experience.
100% bringing my friends here another time.
I like to come shoot because I get to spend time with my family. Same for me. I love spending time with my family. It's something to do.
It's a lot of fun shooting.
When I first moved back into town, the first place I came was DCF Guns, and I signed up for a membership right away.
I got into shooting because of self-defense. I would encourage all women to be ready and to feel comfortable handling a handgun.
This was my first time ever shooting at DCF West. It felt amazing.
I shot an AR-15 and it was amazing. It was powerful and I loved it.
I'm here today as a part of a group of women that support one another in continuing to practice and refine our knowledge.
Not only self-protection of ourselves, but protection of our loved ones as well.
I have fun and I get to meet with other ladies.
You should always be prepared to defend yourself.
And I love coming to DCF Guns West to shoot. I come with my family. It's a nice, clean, friendly range. Here I feel safe. I feel like the people to my left and my right are also really cognizant of their range etiquette. That's why I come to DCF Guns West.
Come join the DCF family today, where we keep the range hot and the deals hotter. Hey, this is just in from Fidelity. Gold could hit $4,000 an ounce as the Federal Reserve cuts rates to cushion the U.S. economy. The dollar drops and the central bank keeps adding holdings. Gold has been on a record-breaking tear over the last few years, and it doesn't look to be slowing down in the years to come. Are your savings protected with precious metals like gold and silver? Are you waiting for gold and silver to shoot even higher in price? I want you to call my gold partner, Goldco, today and learn more about what precious metals can do for you. That's 844-960-GOLD or visit untamedgold.com. You'll get a free 2025 gold and silver kit, and you'll get info on the #1 precious metal offer in the game, where you can get up to 10% back in bonus silver just for getting started. But supplies are limited, so don't put it off. Call my gold partner, Goldco, at 844-960-GOLD or visit untamedgold.com. That's 844-960-4653 or visit untamedgold.com. In every thread, in every stitch, Honor-Bound USA weaves the fabric of the American spirit. It's not just apparel, it's a testament to God, family, and country. At Honor-Bound USA, we're a family of patriots who put our faith, family, and America first. When you visit our website, you'll find a line of products that embody our commitment to pray, stand, speak, and act. As the official site for the Untamed podcast, all of our products proclaim speaking the truth with courage. We also have the powerful documentary from Professor David Clements, Let My People Go. Identify yourself as one of the few who are willing to stand for what they believe in. Join the Honor-Bound USA family today. Wear it as a badge of honor, commitment to the values that shape us, and a pledge to the bright future we will build together. Because when you're honor-bound, you're not just wearing a brand, you're embodying a lifestyle.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye. Hey, get in here. Sit down. Sit down. Hey, listen, guys, that was awesome. Lori is amazing. She's an amazing mother. She's an amazing patriot, doing a lot of great things. I got a text message from my friend that said, Joe, I don't know if anybody even understands just how you've already made the decision in your life. I have. I've made a lot of decisions in my life. Put your ears in.
I don't have yours. Oh.
Yeah, you do. Activate his deal. I'm handing it back to him. Here, put that on too. Oh, don't. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Okay, so I have made the decision already. I've already gotten to the place where I'm like, fine. I know what kabuki theater looks like. Like you have guys that are out there. It's like casting, central casting. That's all it is. You don't have any real people. You have President Trump that is a warrior. He'll get out there and fight. But I now understand probably, and it keeps bothering, it keeps coming back to me. When President Trump said, yeah, I don't think I'm going to heaven. Because I think he has an opportunity to make a decision. And I think that maybe he's not going to make that decision. That's what my fear is. My fear is that he keeps waiting, keeps telling the American people, fight, fight, fight. And we look like marshmallows. And there's guys like me. And there's guys like Derek. He likes to fight too. He never seen a fight he didn't like. But okay. Let's talk about some other stuff, right? I put up this post. Let's go back to the A side of things. I put up this post, and I put this up yesterday. Super important for me. Super, super, super important. I said Democrats have nothing to lose. Democrats have nothing to lose. They will use the machines and the mail-in ballots to win every race. And you're looking at the beginning of the end if you don't ban both. Mr. President, fear of loss will allow them to turn the U.S. into Venezuela. I cannot imagine a more desperate situation than the one we face now. We have not won one race, special election or otherwise, since you won in 2024. Not one. And a PA district went blue for the first time in over 50 years. The country is finished if we do not stop this. The system is rigged. The people are slaves. And I said, what are we waiting for, sir? Then I have this next one that I put up yesterday. Let's put up the second one. Can we put up the A2? We have not won a single election since November of 2024. The elections are rigged, the legacy set. How is it this hard for us to stop this fraud and restore the American people's voice? Judases and Brutuses abound. Pray. And then Mark Cook went on when I said this, and he put something on there. We are only 2 elections away from Venezuela. There is zero doubt. DJT will either save America or let it die. It's time for bold moves to address this election's national state of emergency. Proposed executive order is on the handcountroadshow.org/EO. The fix for the entire nation is handcountroadshow.org/PEP. Derek, welcome to the show, bro.
Hey, good to have you.
Wait, so put that up closer to you. I can't hear you.
How about this?
Can you get his to work, please? Can you turn it on? There you go. You're turned on now. Oh, geez, you broke it. Just hold it. Just put it in your hand. Hold it. Just hold it. Just talk into it.
I'm here. Hi.
Okay, can you turn here? Give me see it real quick. Let me fix it for you. So Derek's here. I'll let you guys see him for a minute. He just broke it because he likes to break stuff. I don't actually know how he broke it either. Jiminy Christmas. It's a clip the wrong way. Is that it? Here, there we go. Perfect. Okay, now, without breaking it, put it up closer to your head. So I'm giving him a 101. See, this is why. No. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That works.
How about that?
That works. Turn him on now.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Hey.
So we talked about this earlier before we got on, and you just saw Lori that was on. You probably got to hear the show.
I did.
She's a fighter. She's kind of like you.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Lee.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other people in Colorado said, hey, I can't run away from this right now.
All these things they tell you aren't happening. We have so many first-hand accounts that it's happening. I don't know why people even can begin to think that it's not happening.
Yeah. So what did you think of what I said? Do you think we're, what
I don't know, 30 days, 60 days?
I think within 60 days we're going to have something happen. I mean, I'd like for Jesus just to come back, personally.
I don't know if we can count on that. Not in 60 days.
Yeah, I know. Well, I want to show you something else. I have some good news. I have some really good news. You want to hear some really good news?
Yes, we could use some.
We could use some good news. First of all, I want to tell you this. There is an update. There's an absolute update of what is happening with the pipe bombs, the J6 pipe bomber. There is this rumor is true. This is from Steve Baker. And I said, yes. The rumor is true. There's a high degree of certainty that the J6 pipe bomber has been identified. Given the inevitability of leaks, we briefly discussed our findings at Glenn Beck's show this morning. The full story will drop tomorrow at The Blaze and here on X. Stay tuned. I have it under good authority from some resources, couple actually. So I want to say a couple things. One, Steve Baker over at The Blaze is under an enormous amount of pressure. Okay, he is he is a investigative reporter for The Blaze. They are trying everything that they can. They are trying to get Steve Baker shut up in this current administration.
Why do you suppose?
Well, I suppose that they're all in on it, and that this is all kabuki theater. That's what I suppose.
They have cameras all around the city of Washington, D.C., and they don't have any video footage of these pipe bomb people. It's a joke.
Yeah.
A joke.
They have them.
Of course
They've
they
caught
have
them with a high degree of and they know who the person is. And let me just tell you something else. Ready? I'm gonna tell you right now. This person works for the government. I don't think that. I don't maybe think that tomorrow, and something might happen tomorrow. And you come back, bookmark it, telling you what's going to happen. Go check out the Glenn Beck interview. I'll try to put it up on different places. But 100%, there's a 100% chance that tomorrow the tree shakes tomorrow, and some other things come out about our FBI.
Is it just going to be a higher level FBI, not just the agitators that were at the Capitol?
I personally believe that the FBI in our case, and that right now, it is not doing what it should be doing, in my opinion, to protect the American people. They're talking about things that don't matter. And I'm going to use that as an example. He blocked me. Why would he block me?
Who blocked you?
I think Kash Patel.
Kash Patel?
Hold on.
Why would he block you? I can't imagine why.
So let's put this post up. Sorry. That's weird. Okay, maybe he didn't. Let me see. Put it in here. So Kash Patel went after my friend Kyle Seraphin.
I remember.
No, this just happened a couple days ago.
Oh.
And he said, "I'm proud of the work of this FBI. We're taking violent criminals off the street in record numbers, crushing the fentanyl crisis, dismantling cartels, saving children, hunting down terrorists, and so much more." Now, I agree with that. There's some of that he's probably doing, right? Because there's some good people in the FBI. And this is where I'm starting to get an epiphany. You know, you have a paradigm crash. You meet some guys that are FBI guys, and so you go, and you can tell the good guys from the bad guys, right? And there's some good guys that are still in that deal. But he says, but I'm going to tell you right now that at the very top, these politicos, they're not on our side, I don't think.
I think when you get to a certain level, everybody's corruptible.
Yeah. So he says all that, and he says, "Let me be clear, we will not be distracted by baseless rumors and the noise from uninformed internet or anarchists and the fake news." Kyle Seraphin is not fake news. Neither is the fact that he actually took a private jet on a date. But I want to keep going. The disgusting, baseless attacks against Alexis, a true patriot, and the woman I'm so proud to call my partner in life, are beyond pathetic. She is a solid rock solid conservative and country music sensation who has done more for this nation than most will in 10 lifetimes. I'm so blessed she's in my life. Okay, no, she hasn't. She's a 25-year-old girl who, by the way...
Is that all she is?
Yeah, she's 25 years old. if that, 23, 24.
Oh,
I'll
gosh.
find out here in a minute. Attacking her isn't just wrong, it's cowardly and jeopardizes our safety. My love of family will always be my cornerstone, and you will never tear that down or keep me from them. And I and this FBI will stay laser focused on our mission and continue the reform we promised, rebuilding this bureau from the ground up. To our supposed allies staying silent, your silence is louder than your clickbait haters. Okay. Listen to me. I have a lot of respect for people inside the administration. There are people that told me, Joe, you can't trust Susie Wiles. I actually might text her. Somebody sent me her thing saying text her. I was like, okay, I will. So I will. But I think she actually has done great work. There are people I know how hard it is to navigate evil when you're in the middle of something so pervasive that you can't get out of it. You can't.
Yeah, but you would think Trump has the experience from the first 4 years to be a lot better at it than he used to be.
Well, remember, they 2 impeachments, okay?
Yeah.
He lost his power in 2018 because the media attacked him because they basically have a machine.
They do.
This machine is the same as it is in other countries. I saw it there. They did it over in Europe first, brought it here. The undermining of this administration in both terms to restore power to the American people is undeniable. And when you have stuff like the Smith Modernization Act that allows for the media to lie with impunity and there's no recourse at all, what do you expect to have happen?
It's Operation Mockingbird.
Yes, but it's worse than that because now they can actually use lawfare in order to then tear down people from having the ability to kind of see what's right in front of them. Right. So I had to respond to Cash.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
No, I haven't seen
great.
it.
So I said, your partner, quote unquote, partner in life is a country music sensation. So I truly wanted to see what music she did. I did see she did the national anthem in an airport. That was actually beautiful. She did a great job. I can sing too. And if you handed me a mic and had me sing the national anthem, matter of fact, I do it when I go to the games. And people are like, wow, you actually like the national anthem. I said, I love the national anthem. Right? You probably sing to it in the shower.
Well, at the game, maybe. Not on the shower.
I said, your partner in life is a country music sensation. Give me the songs that was a star in. I can't seem to find them. I went looking for them. I went looking for it, guys. I went looking for country music sensation. I mean, I like Luke Bryan. I mean, there's like guys that I like that I'm like, okay, well, she's got good music. I want to be able to hear it. Bro, I can't find any.
There's no music?
No, what? I don't, I mean, I found some, but I was like, it's not even rated. It doesn't even come up when you put her name in. How is that a music star?
Maybe
it's like manufactured.
Maybe
it's
this is just the beginning of her marketing campaign.
Oh my gosh. No, but she dates back her, look, it's pretty suspect. Like her whole history is, I want to be a star. Like I want to be a Kardashian. And then she dated Kardashian Patel, so it worked out. It's like perfect. But I said, here's the reality. You suck, bro. You betrayed the very people that put you in the bureau in true Indian fashion. You talk about cleaning up crime, fentanyl, and a slew of other things that we really cannot measure. Here's what we can measure. No one has been arrested. Am I wrong?
No,
okay.
You're not wrong.
You're flying all over the country, jet setting with your country sensation girlfriend. It's truly central casting. I would tell you to do better, but frankly, I don't think you can. I know you can't. You're too punch drunk on yourself to see how bad it truly is. Sad, actually. You got a chance, and now 3 years you'll be gone, along with our country you have actively trying to destroy. Congratulations, I guess. Right? I mean, I'm just saying.
Is that why you thought he blocked you?
I did. I thought it was nice. I thought I was being. I was
I
asking
didn't think
a question.
it was bad. I've seen bad. That's nothing.
You know, and if that hurts your feelings, Cash, I'm sorry. Here's what I know. He said he's done all this stuff and made all these sacrifices. No, he hasn't.
He's always been at the top tier
of book deals and everything else. Protected at all costs.
Yep.
I would say that there's a lot of people that have actually faced quite a bit.
He was really embraced into the whole Trump association back in 21. They took him in, and he's been with them since then.
So I had another thing that I put up, and you're going to go through this with me. You were here, so don't put that one up yet, guys. I want to have another tweet that I just did. I was on a tweet fest today. Sorry, I was really actively.
A lot of Facebook posts too.
Yeah, it was Facebook posts. Did you see my new one?
You did it while you were on the show.
I did. Because it was so awesome. I said this. I said, oops. Somebody had to respond. And I said, if you are a socialist, if you are a communist, you are in fact a fascist. Thanks for your attention to this matter.
I end a lot of my posts that way too. It's fantastic.
And then I said, great revelation on the show today. You're either an American or a communist. You cannot be both.
All right.
Right?
I had to look at the timestamp. I said, well, he's on the show. I didn't even see him post it.
Yeah, I was talking to Lori. It was a great conversation. And I said, let's put this up there and see what the, yeah. All right, so let's put up this post real quick, because this happens today. So there was an article that was written by the Gateway Pundit about Stephanie Lambert and Matt DePerno. And I said this: nothing has changed. They act like they have neutralized President Trump. The forgotten are those who have fought and continue to fight. This judge is disgusting. There's no elections. They are all fraudulent. Mr. President, why are you not doing what is necessary? I know you know. For fuck's sake, this is criminal. There's no difference between what is happening here in a third world country. This is disgusting, no worse than what they are doing to Tina Peters. Now, if you go into this article, this is the 5-year anniversary of the election in Antrim County. The Michigan court moves the goalposts on attorneys to expose Antrim County's machines. Okay, ready? The judge, Jeffrey Mattis, denied every defense request, all 15 of them, 15 in all, and granted the prosecution's positions in full. So you have an entire captured state government, and if President Trump doesn't declare the Insurrection Act, we're screwed.
He has to do something about these judges. They just keep impeding everything, and they're crooked. So many of them. Even the ones in your case.
To the core.
Yeah.
To the core.
How about all the federal judges that keep blocking all of his executive orders?
And look, I have a admission that there was a Antifa call. They even went to the guy that was on the call.
I was there. I was in the trial when they talked about it.
And I'm thinking to myself, you just admitted it, and you hid that evidence. Yep. And you just tried to tell the court that you wanted him not to admit it, and you're the one that admitted it in the case.
They wouldn't even let you talk about it.
Right? And limine. And the jury found me credible.
Yep.
And non-defamatory.
How come your case hasn't been dismissed?
Correct. Because
it's
I'll tell you
lawfare.
why.
That's
it's
why.
Lawfare. The key excerpts for the court's order: the request to modify the instructions regarding Court 24 is denied. Request to modify the court's prior ruling is denied. Special non-standard instruction capturing unauthorized possession of a voting machine shall be modified as follows. The defendant is charged with the crime of unauthorized possession of a voting machine. To prove the charge, the prosecution must prove that each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly obtained and had possession of a ballot box or voting machine without authorization from the Secretary of State or a valid court order. Ready? There was never a statute that said it was illegal prior to 2021. So they went back in time after they passed this statute, and then said we're going to go after him for going after and getting the machines.
But won't that just be thrown out on appeal?
In
4 more years.
Well, let's look at Tina Peters, 9 years.
Ugh.
So if President Trump doesn't hit the button on the Insurrection Act, we have a lot of people that have supported him that basically have become cannon fodder.
It's terrible.
A lot. I mean, I'll just tell you, Mr. President, you've got people that sit there like Kash Patel that feed their face, and you say he's doing a great job. Maybe he's doing a great job on those areas, but you get out there and you talk about election fraud, you talk about stolen elections. You know, I sat in front of counsel for Pompeo. I sat there with guys that were deputies inside the Secretary of State's office. I sat there with other people. I got grilled for 2 days. This isn't conjecture. I got grilled for 2 days. I sat at the State Department. I sat there and I walked through it and I could see the guy sweating. And I knew that he knew that he knew that the election was stolen. And he knew that I knew that he knew.
And here we are. And Trump's been saying since day one, he's been saying he's going to get rid of mail-in ballots. Well, I don't know about you, but I just mailed my ballot in.
You can't allow trucks to roll over at the state level over people like Tina Peters and Stephanie Lambert and Patrick Byrne and Matt DePerno, and the list goes on, and Dave Clements and Joe Oltmann. And I mean, I could go down the list. And yeah, for 5 years, I have spoken up on this show every day. My attorney says, Joe, you don't know how to keep your mouth shut. Why would I? Would you? Would you let someone rape you and go after your family and then keep quiet about it? Who would do that?
I'm not good at keeping quiet about anything.
Yeah. The third, but it goes through this, right? And this is a law that never exists. The centerpiece of the dispute is simple. No statute in 2020 or now required authorization from the Secretary of State before examining election equipment pursuant to a court-ordered discovery. It doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. A December 2020 email, the case file confirmed that no such authorization rule existed. States later attempts to reinterpret procedures only arose after the interim forensic findings became public.
So they made a law so that they could go back and apply the law that wasn't in existence. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And they represented a guy named Bill Bailey. Now, why this is important is Bill Bailey was the he was the plaintiff in the Antrim County case. And Bill Bailey passed away in September of this year. So we never got to see it through to conclusion. Go ahead and take that case down.
How'd he die?
Cancer. I'm not going to talk about that yet. We do have some updates for you guys as well. Allie says hi to Derek.
Oh, hi, Allie. How are you?
She's in the comments. I told her, make sure you go back and listen to the whole thing. You're going to have to listen to the whole thing. All right. I got more. I totally butchered everything that we had for the show today. Sorry, guys. Now let's talk about Mamdani. This is your old stomping ground, New York.
My old stomping ground. I was just there a couple weeks ago.
Here's a clip from Mamdani's victory speech. Play it.
Standing before you, I think of the words of Jawaharlal Nehru. A moment comes but rarely in history when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance. Tonight we have stepped out from the old into the new. So let us speak now with clarity and conviction that cannot be misunderstood about what this new age will deliver and for whom. This will be an age where New Yorkers expect from their leaders a bold vision of what we will achieve, rather than a list of excuses for what we are too timid to attempt.
We're being taken over from within.
Did you see what he said?
Yeah, he said that we were oppressed. I never knew that we were in this country.
Okay, we're gonna have to go to this tweet because the person that he talked about in his speech, you're not gonna believe this. And it was, by the way, every media place stayed away from it.
They didn't talk about who he quoted?
Yeah.
The media is part of it, obviously. They don't want people to know.
He was the father of socialism in India. Okay? This is the guy who crushed Hindus and empowered jihadis. In 2001, I lost friends. You lose friends?
Yeah, I knew people from in the business, in the stock business.
Over 3,000 Americans died. They attacked us on our own soil. 24 years later, a jihadi is running New York. New York City.
It's almost surreal. I mean, you can't believe that this is happening.
And you can't do it without stolen elections.
Well, I don't believe for a minute that these elections are secure in any fashion.
Put up the tweet. This is from Amy Mack. New York City's new mayor just quoted Jawaharlal Nehru, a socialist who crushed Hindus and empowered jihadis. Zohran Mamdani didn't quote Washington, Jefferson, or Lincoln. He quoted the Marxist founding father of socialist India. Turning India into a socialist prison, strangling free enterprise with the licensed Raj. Appeased jihadis, gave Muslim Kashmir special status while Hindus were massacred. Left Muslim law untouched but rewrote Hindu law to weaken traditional families. Banned Hindus nationalist groups but excused jihadis in the name of secularism. Created dynastic rule, birthing the Nehru-Gandhi family empire that still poisons India's politics. Praised China until Mao invaded and humiliated India in 1962. And now Mamdani quotes him as inspiration, calling this the new age. Translation, the Nehru model of decline is being imported to America. Socialism cloaked as secularism, power masked as progress. This is one giant step towards Islamization. From Nehru's India to Mamdani's New York, the same playbook. Demonize the majority, which is white people. Reward jihadi minorities, silence faith, family, and freedom. America, pay attention.
Yeah, I don't know if white people are the majority in New York anymore.
Yeah, they are.
Not by that much.
It doesn't matter. I can tell you, he didn't win 50% of the vote in New York.
It's hard to believe.
He didn't. It's not possible. He did not win 50% of the vote in New York. And the Democrats are going to steal everything. They're going to steal every election, and they're going to dare President Trump to hit the button on the Insurrection Act.
There's a Republican helping him in New York. Why is Curtis Sliwa staying in the race? Why were there 3 people in there? There were 3 people in there so this guy could get elected.
Even if you would have taken
it was easier to steal it with 3.
Listen to me. Even if you took all of the votes of both people and combined them, it wouldn't have been Mamdani, and because it was all fixed.
Oh, okay.
Look, how is every race 50.2, 50.3, 50.5%? They just happen to just squeak it out and win every single time? Like, we already know, we've identified the algorithm. We've seen literally the algorithm inside the voting machines. We uncovered it in Mesa County, clearly. There's 3 reports written on it. They walked past it with not one expert. They used Alex Halderman, this hack piece of shit communist from the University of Michigan. That guy who literally doesn't even know what system architecture is. He says, oh, we don't use that term in elections. Yeah, it's on page 2. Help me. Help me. This is Van Jones on Mamdani, missing an opportunity here to reach out. Whew, play it.
I think he missed an opportunity. I think the Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. And I think that Mamdani is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not? Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior, even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think his tone was sharp. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like there's a little bit of a character switch here where the warm, open, embracing guy that's close to working people was not on stage tonight, and there was some other voice on stage. That said, he's very young, and he just pulled off something that's very, very difficult. And I wouldn't write him off, but I think he missed an opportunity to open himself up tonight, and I think that will probably cost him going forward.
Nothing's going to cost him going forward. He won. So then he became who he always was.
The police force, the teachers union, they're all run by people that give up money, right? People that would sell out for a bag of shekels, right?
The fire department guy just quit in New York.
Oh, it's going to be,
people are leaving.
It's going to be a massive exodus,
JP Morgan just spent $3 billion on a new facility there. So they're not going anywhere. I mean, it's literally just opened.
We'll see. Let's hear Curtis Sliwa that offers a warning to Zohran, the terrorist. Go ahead and play it.
Let me warn our new leader. If you try to implement socialism, if you try to render our police weak and impotent, if you forsake the people's public safety, we're not only organizing, but we are mobilizing, and we will become the mayor-elect and his supporters' worst enemies, worst nightmare. Yes.
I wanted you to see something else that you guys aren't saying. You know, he said the quiet part out loud. If you go listen to Mamdani's speech, it was blood-filled. You don't understand what you just watched. You watched a jihadi that worked in the Arab Spring, in Egypt and Syria, who was in the front lines of creating disruption, along with the CIA hotbed. They are not afraid of President Trump. No one in this country is stopping DEI. No one in this country is stopping the mass elimination of people like you and me. The Muslim Brotherhood leader said that they will push Sharia law in America by ballot or by bullet. I'm telling you right now, yesterday was a defining moment. We are in real trouble with President Trump. We're in real trouble. Play it.
Now it's getting through Congress. So before it was by the sword, now it's getting themselves into parliament and then making laws that act as the sword, the Islamophobia law in Canada, M103.
Yeah.
Muslim Brotherhood.
I find that there are only two things which are open to our movements. Ballot or bullet, nothing in between.
I used to say that democracy is haram. Now I say participation in democracy is our jihad. That's our jihad. We're going to fight not through the bullets, but the ballot.
Going to the ballot and voting is now an obligatory action, fard ayn. And it is a jihad that is now needs to be done because this is our modern jihad. You can elect a person who wants the Sharia.
Because in the United States, what we do know is that in the past election, just this last election, there have been over 800 Muslim candidates running for office.
We may end up with about 50 members of Congress in the next 6 years. That's really the essence of dismantling the system of injustice, is to replace it with the people who represent the Prophet ﷺ.
That's really disturbing. They don't even hide it.
Scariest thing you can see right there. And now it becomes, you said by bullet or by ballot. Here's liberal New York City women celebrating Mamdani's win. I want to see how Sharia would work for these women. Let's play it.
The name is Mamdani, M-A-M-D-A-N-I. The name is Mamdani, M-A-M-D-A-N-I. You should learn.
Sharia law starts now. Absolutely. Zohran Mamdani, Islamic Caliphate, our brother in Islam, Islamic Caliphate of New York, starts today, baby.
God, there is just something so electric, so satisfying about knowing that my MAGA parents, wherever they are probably having a horrible night tonight. Oh, I literally just got goosebumps thinking about it. Like, they are in such a bad mood, probably, about the fact that Zohran just won and Prop 50 is gonna pass. Like, wow. God, I'm sorry. It just makes me feel good that my MAGA parents are probably upset right now.
When the day starts with Dick Cheney being dead, it ends with Mamdani winning. Oh, yes. Oh. I'm so happy. Oh my God, I'm so happy.
I'm speechless.
Probably the best show we've done right here. You can get Derek speechless. First we talk about the grooming children, and now we're talking about the effects. And and I see the comments like, Joe, why are you so calm? Here's where I am, guys. I'm smelling the dirt. I know we're going to war. I'm begging President Trump to do the right thing. As hard as it will be on your legacy, we're at war. If you wait too long, you miss the opportunity. The Art of War is a fantastic book. And you have all the manuscripts, all of them, all the manuscripts of where we are. You have them all. You know what the left is, their playbook, because it happens every time. Same way. There's 10 steps you do, they're gonna take all 10 steps. And they start by stealing elections. And if you do not hit the little button and get rid of machines and mail-in ballots and make them do a new election across the country, that no one can stop him. But Man FM says Joe saw it coming. I did see it coming. I've been warning on this show. I feel like prophetic almost. And it's not prophetic, it's just the fact that I'm smart. I went to a state school, my books were lighter, they had less information in them, but I'm 50 years old, right? I've seen a lot. Bro, you have seen a lot in your life. I promise you, I've seen 10 times what you've seen in misery and of life. And I look at this and I am deeply, deeply, my heart hurts for humanity.
We just have to hope that for every 3 clips like that, there are 30 others of intelligent people, because these people don't have any clue what they're talking about.
Well, I'm going to show you another video right now. I'll show you another video on New York subway. Yeah. This is what real New Yorkers feel like. Go ahead, play it.
I'm on the subway going home. And it feels like I'm at a wake. People are shocked. And this is not Cuomo supporters. This is New York cross-section.
I'm telling you,
they
Mr.
were speechless too.
Every election is stolen. They don't understand. I don't know how to put it. I have Pam Bondi's number. I have Susie Wild's number. I have a few other people's number. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to send anything to them. And now I'm sitting here going, all right, I got to say something. Like, why is, I remember, Derek, January of 2021. January 4th, 2021.
When you went to Washington,
I went to Washington. And I think it was the 4th or 5th. It melded together. The 5th, I know I was on the stage for the Freedom Plaza. And I said, this is how they stole the election, right?
Right.
And I had studied it. I stayed up all night. I had this guy, Andrew Lerner, who was my math whiz. He had a master's in math, and he's just really smart. And he worked for me for years. And I remember when they came and grilled me, and I was like, look, man, let me explain something to you. This is how they stole the election.
And they all believed it.
They knew, because they had NSA guys, they had DHS guys, they had ODNI. I mean, look, they have done a good job of saying Joe doesn't know what he's talking about, discredit. What about the call? I mean, I got set up by Sidney Powell, Jenna Ellis, and Sam Faddis. I got set up by those 3 people collectively together. They set me up. I told them over and over and over again I did not have a recording. I told them that I would protect my source. I've protected all my sources.
It's remarkable, fantastic.
I'm a journalist. I'm reporting it. But they set me up. Chuck Faddis came out here, Sam Faddis, what do we want to call him, right? Came out here, interviewed me at a thing. 2 other people were there with me. He got agitated because I was like, look, he kept trying to tell me that I needed to talk about more stuff. And I'm like, about what? I just told you how it happened. That's it. That's the only way it happened, right? And so he got pissed and left with his other buddy that was sitting halfway across the thing, right? Went back to Sidney Powell and said, Sidney, this guy's legit, but we need to say that he's embellishing it. And by the way, you should probably get on the stage and say that we have a recording of Coomer, because then the media will ask, where's the recording, which they did.
Right.
And then Jenna Ellis would call me, because I called her and said, hey, listen, immediately, I'm like, what is wrong with you people? You didn't have to lie. It's as clear as day in front of you. And then Jenna Ellis said, oh, don't worry about it. She said that she'll just clean it up. It's not important right now. We got this in the bag. The Kraken.
Kraken, right. The Kraken. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard that in a while.
So Sidney Powell put it out there, signaled to the media so the media could attack me. Jenna Ellis got on board. People like Jovan Pulitzer got in the middle of it and said, oh, we don't like your notes. In the middle of all that, they got an affidavit that says, oh, there was a call and here's all the stuff that was discussed that matches my notes completely.
It's crazy.
Completely.
I know.
Right? Not partially, but fucking completely. Right?
Yep.
Then they hide it. Then they hide Eric Coomer getting in. So you see, all this stuff happens, right?
Right.
They set me up. Our own side set me up. Sidney Powell set me up.
Well, she walked away.
Jenna Ellis, she walked away from all of it.
Yeah.
And with a treasure chest.
Yep.
And now she's back in it, doing her thing. And I asked for her help, and you know what? I started thinking about it, and then I put it all together. Because I had this person over here that used to work for ODNI that says, hey, did you know this? And then I had this person over here that says, you need to read her cases. So I read them, and I was like, who would write these? Who would write these cases? Mr. President, if you're listening, if anybody listens to it that actually talks to the president, if you read those cases, you couldn't have wrote a case with more holes in it. She's a prosecutor. She's an award-winning prosecutor. You don't write cases the way she wrote cases. And you don't depend on a guy named Lynn Wood to write cases for you, knowing that Lynn Wood is crazy. Now, here's what else I know. Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood, and a bunch of other people met at Tomatli in November of 2020.
In November?
November of 2020. They were at Tomatli with Lynn Wood. Man, I know so much. Why were they at Tomatli together? Do you know who else was there? Doug Logan.
Who's he?
He's the guy that did the cyber, that did the deal in Maricopa County, that did the audit. You know Cyber Ninjas? Do you know who was at Tomatli in November of 2020? Doug Logan.
Oh boy.
How the hell is Doug Logan in with these guys? Mike Flynn, Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood, right? In this little group. Jenna Ellis. How are they at Tomatli with Lynn Wood, with Doug Logan, and then Doug Logan is actually given the Maricopa audit with Cyber Ninjas. He's never done it before. And he saw what that did. That became a complete and utter mess.
So what was
Are
their
you
goal
seeing
from
it?
the beginning?
Guys, you do not understand how, and by the way, what I'm telling you is 1,000% true. Not 100%, it's 1,000% true. You could call Lynn Wood. Call Lynn Wood. Who sent Sidney? I don't know. Remember the Kraken?
Yeah, of course I remember the Kraken.
We're
going to release the Kraken.
I had a lot of respect for Sidney. And then I put it all together. And I was like, oh, shit. That's why they're afraid of me. That's why the CIA went through all this stuff. They're like, this guy he will not stop.
They were able to get them to stop very quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly. And they made deals with all of them, and they all walked away from all of the problems.
No, they didn't just walk.
They profited.
Jenna Ellis on Friday raised over $250,000. That was on a Friday. And on Monday, she settled on the case in Georgia to walk away. I asked Sidney, I go, Sidney, why would you walk away from the Coomer deal? She's like, well, I have all this stuff happening in my life. And I was like, oh, that checks. And then I got a document that was sent to me that I'm not allowed to have that had Chuck Sam Faddis on it, saying that he was the one that reported back to all of them, and that was his conclusion on that note that I embellished. And I was like, oh shit, they set me up. 2 days after I met with him, she was on She was literally on TV saying that she has a recording 2 days after, which means the CIA guy, Chuck Faddis, had to neutralize me, and they needed to have enough people around me that could do it to cause enough problem. That is why Coomer sued me and Dominion didn't, because if Dominion would have to give me up all the information, and I would dig right into the bottom of the source code. And what I wouldn't understand on code, I would certainly have people that would.
And it was Dominion who sued everybody else.
Didn't sue me, though.
Right.
I was the epicenter. Why would they sue me? Why didn't Dominion sue me?
Well, because then you would have to give up all the discovery of the Dominion system, right?
So there's a report that they do where David said this to me one time, that he said, Joe, you tend to walk people off cliffs. You'll lead people down, you'll say something, because I will. I'll be like, oh, so hey, I'm thinking about going to the game tonight, and there's going to be a couple people there, and I'll drop a name or two, and I'll see what your reaction is. I had no intention of going to the game, but I wanted to see where you would go when I said I was going to do that, and whether or not someone else would show up when I was at the game. So I would constantly lead people to test them, to make sure that they were not legitimate or ethical or loyal, right?
Right.
There's all these tests that I do.
Right.
I test everybody, right? And sometimes I'm saying something to you to test you, and I have the information. Sometimes I don't. I just want to see if you can actually, right? It's a validation thing for me.
Well, loyalty is a real hard thing to qualify, so you have to always be testing it.
I test everybody, right? So it's just who I am, right? You know that. Right?
Well, I like living on the edge.
Yeah. They essentially neutralized you, Joe. Yes, they did. Sort of. But now I have the story to tell. And now it's all coming out, right? Now his lawyer sent an email today trying to threaten me again.
Again?
Yeah, so the reason why the Coomer had to come after me is because they needed to hide the crimes. The only way to hide the crime for Coomer is that they had to be able to put pressure on me and hammer me.
What could
and
they
then
be
they had to
threatening
get
with you
people.
now?
Then they had to get people on our side that they could have attack me. So they literally sent all the minions to attack me, all of them. But they had to lead me down a path where they could say, all right, don't talk to Joe. He doesn't have credibility.
They've been working that angle for 4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
Derek, you've known me for the last 5 years, right?
Yes.
And you are welcome. I'm live, so I don't actually know what the answer is going to be here. And you could tell me, because I want to always be, we have a brotherhood, right?
Yes.
And so what's a part of the brotherhood? Accountability.
Right.
Right? Have I ever been inconsistent?
No, you've been always consistent. That's the best part about you, is that you're a loyal person, and it's a very rare trait to have in people.
Okay. Am I different around you than I am in front of my wife?
Never.
Am I gross? Do I do gross things to other people?
You are who you are. There's no hiding it.
No.
That's why we get along so well, because we just wear our hearts on our sleeve, and we just say what we feel, and everybody can trust that we're not hiding anything.
I just said a lot, and I'm getting blown up on text messages.
What are they saying?
Whoa, Joe. That's interesting.
I don't think you said anything crazy.
I didn't say anything crazy, but I know what I said is true. I don't think it's true. I know it's true. I know as I'm sitting here in front of you that the linchpin of all of Dominion was a guy named Eric Coomer. He was there in the beginning, in the genesis, from Sequoia 2005 as a chief architect, all the way through to the stealing of the election in 2020. I know for a fact, based on his behaviors and what he has done and the information that is coming out of other court cases, that he was actively involved with coders overseas in Serbia to defraud the American people by using code in order to manipulate elections across every single election system, EMS, Dominion, Smartmatic, the whole deal. The reason why they didn't sue David Clements, the reason why they didn't sue me, is because we are the guys that literally, we just don't, we understand what's in front of us. Like the amount of intelligence that we have, which is why it's so disturbing that you could go there in January of 2021 and we could be here today. The amount of just stuff that I saw that they had should have been enough to close the door on the election fraud. But I truly believe that people on our side, the Sidney Powells and the Jenna Ellises, who's a disgusting person. By the way, I found out how Jenna Ellis got to President Trump.
How'd he get?
through a Catholic priest. Yeah. Who I had a conversation with. It's really bad. Like the stuff that I know is really bad. And by the way, I know when not to have loose lips. I absolutely know when not to have loose lips, right? There's stuff that will go to my grave. Other stuff people should know. They should know these things, right?
This is a very depressing segment. I mean, this is really, there's no light at the end of this tunnel, it seems.
All right, so I want to go to C8 real quick, if we can. Are you going all the way to the top for? You want me to read something? Let's go to C8. This is Islamists gathering in Times Square. Play it.
We're done hiding. We're done. We're done being tortured and hurt and judged. This is the correct religion. This is the religion that all of humanity needs to be upon, of Islam. And we will not stop until it enters every home. So I want you to repeat after me. I want to hear it in every single district. It should tremble. Brooklyn should hear it. The Bronx should hear it. Queens should hear it. Say it as if the Ummah depends on this, my brothers and sisters. La ilaha illallah!
I think I need to start drinking again. This is really out of hand.
Drink.
I mean, this is really bad. I mean, I grew up there. I can't believe what's happened in such a short period of time. It's completely unbelievable. And I don't know what we can do about it.
You know, the last 5 years, and Jeff, you said that we don't need Derek to validate you. That's not why I'm doing this. It's not why I'm doing this. I only bring this up with my brother Derek, and I bring it up with other people too, is that it's important to understand where the rot comes from. And I am a scary person because I understand where the rot comes from.
Where?
And I'm not afraid to talk about it.
Let's hear it.
I mean, judiciary, education.
Well, yeah.
And it comes from a place of, and I was getting to that when I talked about January 2021. You could, if it was a force, if it was butter, you couldn't walk through it. The thirst for money and power and position and prestige when I was in DC was so thick, you couldn't have walked through it. Now, Apollo was with me on this. So glad he was, right? It was so thick that as you walk through it, you feel dirty. You feel it could turn any man, any woman into someone you don't want to be.
And the higher you get, the worse it gets, right?
Yeah. It's because the closer you are to the fire.
Top. Yeah.
The light at the end of the tunnel is an oncoming train. Could be. I want to tell you that the idea that President Trump said, that's a good idea that Zohran got elected, because then New York will get what it deserves.
No, I don't believe that.
Why?
There
was less than 2,000 people at Times Square. If 50,000 people or 50% voted for him, 2 million people voted for him, then why weren't there more people on the street?
Because the election is stolen, and this is just, it's of course.
It's rigged elections. And here's the thing that the president should be holding his hat on, and that the lawyers around him should be holding their hat on, and that Tucker Carlson should be holding his hat on, and everyone should be holding their hat on. While we're over here fighting about Israel and fighting about people in other countries, we have basically abandoned our own base.
They're taking over from within.
Yeah. And we're over there concentrating on things over there. If it's America first, make it America first.
Right.
Bring it back to here. Bring it back to where we can see it in front of us. Don't steal our sovereignty and hand it over to people because you're worried about something happening in another country. I can get to worrying about that once you take care of us. But if you're stepping over bodies like we've been stepping over our first responders, is stepping over our veterans, is stepping over our children. And we lie to the public and say that we've already solved the problem, it's all good.
Well, the people that have infiltrated New York, they have a 100-year plan.
Yeah.
We have like a 2-month plan.
But they're 70 years into their 100-year plan.
Yes, they are.
I mean, we're 30 years away from the degradation and the final stand for us as a nation. I'm going to share this last tweet with you, which you already talked about. And I need you guys to do me a favor. This show is super important to me. It's the most important show that I've ever done. And I may say that again in the future, and you may say, well, Joe, I thought that was the most important show. Well, then I did another show and it became more important. This show is very important because I want people to hear both the first part with Lori and with the second part with what's happening in our country. I want them to hear all of it. So I need you to share this. I need you to take it. I need you to take that link for Rumble. I need you to put it on Truth Social. I need you to put it on Facebook. I need you to make this the most loud show out there. I want you to do that for me. And I want you to put it everywhere. I want you to talk about it. And look, I'm super calm because I'm smelling the dirt. And you should be smelling the dirt. You should be smelling the dirt. I know you're smelling the dirt. I don't know if I can last 30 years of this. 110 years into
You
the
will.
story of Teddy Roosevelt.
We're going to last.
It's the second coming, guys. We have to have faith in God, but we have to act. Pray, stand, speak, act. Period. That's it. All right. I need you to share it. I need you to do your part. There's a lot of people watching right now. I need you to do your part. If you're on Facebook, hit the share button. Anywhere you are, hit the share button. Signal? Signal? Oh, geez. Hold on. Signal. Holy shit.
You have the tweet to pull up.
Pull it up. Guys, hit the share button right now. Hit the share button right now. Whew. Tina, the DOJ via Deputy AG Todd Blanche has requested that Tina Peters be transferred out of Colorado State Prison and into federal prison. John Solomon is reporting that he does not know why the request was made, but speculates it could be that she is about to become a witness in a future federal investigation. We are about to get to the bottom of the 2020 election. Free Tina Peters.
This is fantastic news.
Oh my gosh.
They've been talking about getting her out of the state prison for a long time, since Trump got in office.
Sorry, I'm putting it up there. Can we play the video on here, please, of John Solomon? Can we play the video of John Solomon? Play the video of John Solomon. Let's put it up there. Okay, perfect. In the meantime, put up the tweet here. Guys, listen. This is unbelievable. This is a big deal. Huge deal. Did Jared send that to you? Oh. I don't even know what to think about this. Or how do you feel about this?
But this is the best development that I've seen in 5 years.
Yeah. We're going to get to the bottom of 2020. We're going to get to the bottom of 2022. We're going to get to the bottom of 2024. We're going to get to the bottom of the election fraud. We're going to get bottom of Zohran Mamdani. I think he's going to pull the trigger on the Insurrection Act. I really do. And he almost did it in 2021, but he had Mark Meadows and a bunch of other people that said,
Swamp
don't do
preachers
it.
telling him.
Pompeo, that he found out later, betrayed him.
Yep.
I mean, people that literally betrayed him. President Trump has literally been betrayed by more people. I mean, if you think about it, he has to have like nerves of steel.
Can you imagine if they just rounded up all of these judges and prosecutors and filed like a RICO charge on all of them? I mean, this would be that's the only way we're going to clean it up.
But you're talking about, no, you can't do a RICO charge. This has to be a military tribunal.
Oh, even better, a treason charge.
Military tribunal of treason. This is a coup against our country. look, you can say whatever you want about me, because Coomer's and your attorney, I know you guys are listening, right? But you know that I know, and you can't figure out how he knows. Like, how does this guy know this stuff? I know that you know that I know, and I know that you know. I know. So I'm just going to say it. Eric, I think you should just come clean, because if you see this little, the falling, it's falling right on you. And like I said before, I have people, you know this about me, I have people that I've demolished, and yet I've become friends with them.
That's true.
And I say friends because one of them called me and he was having a hard time, and I went over there and I paid his rent. And this is a guy that was, I would say, a bad guy. I mean, he's a bad guy, right? Anti-fight guy, kind of like that, you know, socialist weirdo.
Hey, this is the good news we were waiting for the whole segment.
Show. Oh my gosh.
It was so down, and look how we are right now. And this is really the greatest news in
This is the greatest news ever. Can we play the video? This is John Solomon.
I want to turn to something we're going to break right here, right now. I just got this before I came on air. The team will put it on air right now. Remember Tina Peters? She was the election clerk in Colorado that was sent to prison and convicted for her efforts to raise questions about election issues during the 2020 election in that state. Well, today, Just the News obtained this letter showing that the Deputy Attorney General in the federal government is working, Todd Blanche, is asked the Bureau of Prisons to find any way they can, legally, to move Tina Peters out of Colorado State Prison and into federal prison. Now, that could signal several things. One, they're worried about her safety. Two, that she might become a witness in some future federal investigation. Therefore, having her in federal custody would be a part. We don't know the reason for this request, but we have confirmed that this request has occurred. Breaking news, the story is going to be up on justthenews.com. You got it first because you watch us here at Real America's Voice.
I got it first from someone other than Real America's Voice. I got it from Jared. So Jared, thank you for sending it over. Apollo, thank you for sharing it over. Yeah, pretty crazy deal.
Did it give a time frame? Like, is she on her way this moment?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Let me see if she actually, hopefully she did not call me while I'm sitting in here in this meeting. But let's check. Oh, geez, my phone's broken. See, this is what happens to my phone, by the way. They're trying to get me. No, federal prison is not worse. That's not true. It's not true. It is not worse. Solomon comes on after Bannon. Just the News. DOJ wants ex-Mesa County clerk moved to federal custody after Trump. Yeah, so this is gonna happen. That gives me more confidence. You know,
in Trump and the whole.
I've never lost
hope. But it doesn't it feel like we're getting closer to some resolution? It does to me. This is the best news all year. It means that she's not being forgotten. Let's hope they have some real evidence to convict some of these people.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, make it so. Twinkle of hope. Federal prison is dangerous. No, it's not. Man, I agree with you most of the time, but where they'd send her would not be. It'd be Club Med. Right? Hopefully not with Ghislaine Maxwell. Sorry.
Down in Texas.
Yeah, we're not going there. Although Texas is close to me, so that might be a good thing. All right. Man, it got me. I want to talk about the and then we got to go because we got to go see our friend. We're going to talk about that in a minute. All right. D-Mac, it's good to see you again, Bubba. I see you. Somebody banned him. Somebody banned D-Mac. Daggone it. D-Mac, I'm going to apologize to you. They banned you from the comments. I'm sorry. It was automatically done through AI. Apologies. And then we disconnected it because we're like, ah, shit. How many other people did we do that to? It's good to see you. All right. Put up A9. Back from AI prison. So this is just in. And let me tell you, the Jewish fire department in New York commissioner hands in resignation morning after anti-Israel Zohran Mamdani elected New York City mayor. You know, I had a friend of mine who's Jewish that called me. He's like, Joe, I don't think people understand what you were saying when you said Jewish versus Jew. And he goes, that people are then saying, well, you have to pick a side, it's all the same. They're not, right?
Right.
It's like saying that Ben Carson is the same as P. Diddy, right?
Right.
Are they the same?
No.
All right. One's a great man, and one is a pedophile.
Right.
Right? I'm gonna let you figure out which one's what. Right? I mean, let me just tell you about the commissioner resigning. Let me just tell you my thoughts. It's a coward move. It's a coward move. The New York Fire Department and the police department, if you're a good police officer, you have a right and you have an obligation to stay and fight. You have an obligation to make Zohran fire you. You do not go, you go down swinging. This is the problem that I have with people, is that if you're gonna go down, you go down fighting for what's right. Because if more people fight what's right, you will fatigue them into the hole they came out of.
This is a leftist move to do something like this.
Totally leftist.
The ones that are going to leave the country when this person's elected, they don't stay and fight. They just quit. It's terrible. The guy was probably close to retirement and needed to make a statement.
It's not a statement.
Or
it's a move of a coward.
Well, I agree.
It's a move of a coward. All right. You have an obligation to share. I know that they're going to block it, but you have to share it. Now, coincidentally enough, we wrote a fax blast to go to Congress, right? This is a pretty powerful fax blast. It was about Tina, okay? So I'm going to read this real quick, and then we're going to get to it. We're going to get to the thing that you guys are probably wondering, and that is an update on Dave Bear. We'll do that after this. Actually, I don't even need to do this right now, because if you want to send it to Congress and make them do something, where can they get it? Where can they get it? Where can they send it? Because I want them to read it. Where can they go and read it? Where can they go and actually go through and sign up on this? Where? Patrick? It's on the website? Okay, can you get it on the website, please? And then put it in the comments, put it everywhere so people can get to it. We should have that ready so that people can send this to Congress. Very well done, by the way. All right. Dave Bear. Oh. I'm probably sharing too much, and Dave did give me permission to share it. And I purposely not gone and seen Dave because I'm not sure I could sit in front of him without bawling my eyes out. I'm a strong guy, but he has been a rock for 5 years. He saved my life in November of 2020. No question, he saved my life. He came over and gave me ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine. He gave me an IV. He gave me steroids. He got me back on. I was below 70 as far as my pulse ox. I was not doing well, could not go to a hospital, was afraid that if I did, they'd kill me. And they probably would have. He's been in this fight for 5 years. Third time he's had cancer. I knew it was bad because I did all the research. And so I knew that my expectations had to be
guarded.
And I've asked all of you to pray for Dave. But he went to the doctor, and the chemo's not working at all. So You know, it's he's actually really strong about it. He's actually like, Joe, I'm good. He's young. So we're gonna pray for Dave. You want to talk about Dave?
I have a hard time talking about Dave. You know, this stuff isn't supposed to happen to people close to you. It's supposed to happen to other people. You know, and it always happens to the greatest people. You know, his attitude and his personality is one that deserves to be saved.
He has 3 young kids.
I know. A beautiful wife.
Beautiful wife. Kim's an amazing woman. Amazing mother. He's probably a better person than I deserve to have in my life.
He makes me look bad, that's for sure.
He's the most calm, loving. He had somebody call him up, tell a story. He had somebody call him up that used to work for us, who was really just on the edge of just doing something wrong to himself. And he goes, I'm gonna just send you some money. And he did.
Wow.
He was a guy that just loved people in a way that just wasn't normal. He'd see the good in anyone. It was crazy.
He's still smiling.
Still smiling. We've tried everything. We're still doing stuff, but we're gonna pray for a miracle for Dave Bear, and you know, there's a. You say, well, why would you devote? Dave is a guy that literally, if anything happened to you and you were in a different country, he'd find a way to get there. So we're gonna pray for him. Great show. Hit the share button, do the sharing, do that share stuff. If you're on the audio version, you know what to do. Father God, we bring it all before you. We are grateful for life. We are grateful for salvation. We're so grateful for our families, our friends. And if anything over the last 5 years has been positive, it has shown us so much light in our life and how we could love people even that we didn't even know. That we could build relationships based on the trials of fire. Father Derek went through open surgery where they fixed his heart. He thought it could be it. And yet, he was delivered. We had Gammy, who went through horrible sicknesses, and she was delivered. We've had so many people that have been saved, Father. So we bring it before you right now, all of us. No matter where they are, bring it before you, and I just ask you, if it's your will, can we keep our Dave Bear? He's a blessing to so many people. And he makes you just want to be a better person. I don't know where the miracle starts or where it ends. I don't even know if it's just the miracle that he's just been there for so many. Father, my heart hurts for Kim, the children. You know, we went through a really tough podcast talking about how children are being victimized. Then we talked about what's happening in our country and the reality. And then we just saw this hope, something positive being done with Tina. So Father, I just ask that we bookmark this one with just another miracle. Dave could just wake up tomorrow and be healed fully. I know that your will is your will, and I am grateful for all the things that you've done in my life, and I'm grateful for the things you've done in everyone else's life. I'm grateful that Chris is able to find a job. I'm grateful that Gammy is back. Sometimes I'm grateful for that because sometimes she calls me too much. I'm grateful for friendships, and I'm grateful for the love that we have in our community that is just seems to be drowning out all this evil. They just keep winning stuff because they're cheating. But so, Father, I don't know what this looks like. I just know that I'm bringing it before you, and we're just collectively asking. I also ask you, Father, to bless President Trump and our leadership. Give them the ability to kind of see through all of this and to navigate the evil that they have to thrive in the middle of. And I ask these things, Father, humbly in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Believe. I do believe. All right. You guys, see you tomorrow.
Rise up untamed in the heart of the fire where the wild ones roam. Joe Oltmann's calling, bringing truth back home. From conservative daily to this untamed fire, we shatter the silence, lifting spirits higher. No chains can hold us, no lies can prevail. Authentic and fearless on this rugged trail. Patriots gather under stars and stripes. Untamed nation, igniting the night. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave belong. Yeah, untamed and wild, forever strong. Play it again all night long. Break the mold, chase the real. No more games, time to heal. Joe's voice leads the untamed crew.